It is Monday, March 17th, 2025. This recording is in partnership with the EA Creator Network. Good morning, everybody. I feel so much better. Oh my goodness, do I ever. Pixie with the best bean. Hello. How are you doing? Hi, Ray, Nostalgic Emily. Welcome on in. Hello, Chloe, Destiny, Emily. Let me give you your best bean. Hi, Sue. Good morning. How are you today? Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, thank you so much, Mess, for the 5 months. How are you? Annie, Gloomty, Rissa, Emily, Destiny, Lexi, Tony, Cam. Hi, Commander. Good to see you guys. Welcome on in. Didn't even give you the option. Seriously. Oh my God, that's crazy, Destiny. Right on time to watch as I get ready to go to therapy. That's awesome. Good morning. Hi. How is everyone doing? I crashed. I slept all weekend. Hey! Space! Thank you so much for the 12 months. The fastest clickers in the East. For real? No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all, let me tell you. I slept all weekend. I'm feeling a lot better today. Kind of like, but I feel like I have a sleep hangover now. Does that make sense? Like I slept too much. Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Good to see you. But I'm PMSing, and then it was like 77 on like, oh my God, was it Thursday or something? I don't remember what day it was. And then it dropped to like 50 the next day. And with my fibroids and stuff like that, it like really, it put me the heck out. I was floored. Like I was done. It was insane. I don't have green on today. I don't. It's like I pinched. It wouldn't show up with my green screen anyway. St. Patrick's Day. I know Babu's birthday, Fix-a-Build Day, and Michael came up to me this morning and he goes, "Happy anniversary." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's our anniversary's in April. And he goes, "I know. It's when we started talking 5 years ago." Because we were talking for about a month, a little over a month. Before we actually started like dating, for sure. Not the talking, I know, right? So I'm calling it the Yapiversary by Dochi. Literally though, PMS by Dochi. Like I don't even know, y'all. My PMS, like it wasn't even like that bad. I was just exhausted, if that makes sense. Like the cramps were pretty bad, but not like my energy level was just done. It was crazy how much I felt like I got hit by a truck. Hi, Holly. Welcome on in. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Good to see you guys. In the 30s, snowing yesterday, and my pots did not like that. Right. Oh my God, that's crazy though. I hope you're feeling okay today. Hi, Slammy. Cycles be insane. Right. Mine have been a lot better. But then I think it was that like it went from 77 Fahrenheit to like, no, it was like 81 actually. And it was a high of 81 that day. So I went from like 81 to 50 something. And then I was just, it killed me. I'm doing much better. Good. I'm glad. I actually forgot to take some ibuprofen though. I've been doing that to help with my crampies. So I'm going to turn off my webcam for a second, but I hope everyone had a good weekend. Yes, I know, me too, Rachel. I was kind of going stir crazy because I was just pretty much in bed pretty much the whole weekend. I was just sleeping. Oops, I accidentally spilled some ibuprofen. Hold on, here we go. But I'm so glad to see you guys. I missed you. Very chill weekend. Good. Honestly, sometimes we all need it, right? Mal, Holly, welcome. Rosie. Ash, thank you so much for the 11 months. I hope you're doing good, lurking while you're at work. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. You got so many chores on this weekend. I'm hoping to get that done this weekend. Or not this week, not this weekend, but this week. But yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be nice this week. And then, oh my God, Emily. Thank you so much for the 6. What in the world is happening? Ashley, good morning. Ooh. Thank you so much. Oh my God. And again. Woo! Twice already? What is happening? Good morning, everybody. Oh my God. It's a Monday. Thank you so much for this 6 gifted subs. Oh my God. Woo! Thank you for the 4 months, Rachel. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Nostalgic and Emily, for the 6. Oh my goodness. If you got gifted a sub, I hope you like your emotes. Oh, there's Joey. Joey! Hello. Oh my goodness. Are you on spring break? This is so exciting. Good to see you, Joey. Welcome on in. How is everybody doing today? Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Yes, okay, so you are on spring break. That is really, really awesome. Good morning, everybody. I know you guys have clearly missed me. Oh my God, I was like going stir crazy. I was sleeping and then I watched Star Wars Rebels a whole bunch and then I slept some more. I literally slept like pretty much the whole weekend. I feel a lot better though, but just like sleep hangover now. Elena, thank you for 14 months. Good morning, Art. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Hello, good heckin' morning, everyone. So tell me, how is everyone feeling today? Some Casey's breakfast pizza out, right, Sunshine? I know it's kind of codependent. I get it. Rebels is good. I think I just started season 2. We're like a couple episodes into season 2. You're green today. I'm a little bit kind of like yellowish. I kind of just feel like groggy. But y'all, if you would have told me when I was younger that my body would be like, whenever it went from like really high temperatures and you get like a really stark like drop, if you would have told younger me that that would like make me so tired and just want to sleep for days straight, I wouldn't have believed you. Hi, Suvi. Welcome on in. Nice to meet you. How you doing today? Happy Monday. My plum bulb was green, but my doctor appointment got rescheduled post to April. So I'm wishing I could have gotten it with over. No, that's real. That's me with my OBGYN appointment. Because I have my OB appointment this afternoon, just as a heads up to you guys. I couldn't push this one because it would have made me put it out to like June, basically. I would say anxious is kind of like orange, in my opinion. Hey, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome on in. We're doing something called Fix a Build today. Yeah, like yellow or orange would be a good one. But yeah, I was gonna try to push my OBGYN appointment. But yeah, it had been like several months later kind of thing. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna get it over with today. Permanently yellow to orange while on my period, right? I'm due for mine like tomorrow. My energy level has been hosed. Oh, plum up is green today. I got off work early and allowed me some time. No, that's good. Gloom cheat. By the way, in Saturday's mail, I sent out all of January and February stickers, so keep your eyeballs open for those. So those went out with Saturday's mail because I put them in, we dumped them in the box Friday night. It was like Friday evening, and then so they went out with Saturday's mail. So just saying, you guys should be able to get those like sometime later this week. Yes, that's exciting, and now you should be. Now I'm like caught up. Oh yeah, you got your stickers. So those ones were November, December. So if you won one back in January or February, so those ones are coming too. So you should be getting those really, really soon. I was supposed to have one today, but I had to push for the second time, right? Because like my appointment was supposed to be, oh God, it was supposed to be like the last week of February, my OBGYN appointment. And then she ended up having to like reschedule for that week or whatever. And it just kind of like cascaded it back almost like a month for everyone essentially. So I have my OB appointment today. I got my pap smear, all that funny stuff. I'm kind of anxious a little bit about it. Not about the pap smear, but just like everything else that's kind of going on. Pinching people I know who aren't wearing green today, right? Most know to wear green on today. That's fair. Today's Babu's birthday. Did you guys know that? Also, I did a wedding nail trial. I posted to like Discord and stuff. What do you guys think? I think it's a little bit too much of the chrome color. I want it to be a little bit more sheer. But I like what's going on with everything. I like what's going on. That was a wedding nail trial that I did. I think because it's like a chrome topper, but it's a little bit too much. I want it to be like more sheer. Like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, I know Babu's won today too. Wearing green today, totally did it on totally on purpose, you know? I love those. Thank you. It's a new shape that I've never really done before. I think I like it. It's almond, but we'll see. Was the first one of my friends group to get a pap smear. It seems like they don't educate younger women about it going. Really? It's kind of scary though to think about that. Because I don't know, like my mom did a really good job of trying to like encourage me or educate me on like going and getting that stuff done. My doctor recommends every single year for her patients specifically. Because she's seen people like develop things within like, because I think they say every 3 to 5 years, but she sees people develop stuff really quick. And sometimes she's like, some things could have been prevented. Yeah, every year. Yeah, that's her recommendation. My specific doctor for like all of her patients. I know actually, Lexi, I didn't think I'd like it because I kind of have like a pap smear. So a pap smear is a procedure that is done with people with vaginas and uteruses and stuff like that. And so basically they go inside, like, because I'm using real words here because they're not dirty words. So they open you up with like a speculum, I think is what it's called, in your vagina, and then they take basically a really long Q-tip and they go inside the hole in your cervix at the top of your vagina, and then they kind of like check. They kind of get in there and they scrape. I think it's only like inside. I don't think it's like outside. Duck lips. It's basically, they basically go in and they kind of like swirl and like get tissue samples, and then it checks for any abnormal cells, any abnormal things. It's like I can't remember exactly what screening is done with it. I know that you can also ask for STI things as well. Educational time, exactly. They screen you like for cells that are abnormal that could like lead to cancer and stuff like that. HPV is another good one. Lots of STIs. Yeah, exactly. So when they swab the inside your mouth for like other tests, it's like the other opening basically. It is a little bit uncomfortable. I know that some people definitely are a little bit more uneasy with that kind of thing. And more people are like, different people are more sensitive to different things too. as well. Like it doesn't bother me as much. Same with like the insertion and removal of like my, oh, exactly. Like it is uncomfortable, but the preventative measures that are in place are much, much, much worth the uncomfortableness for like just a couple minutes kind of thing, if that makes sense. Given the alternative, yeah, exactly. Not the worst if the person performing is careful. Yeah. Because I've had some doctors that are like really, it was like really socked. And then I've had some doctors that were like, oh, what? Sweet kind of thing. Each year, but it really, yeah, it's really, yeah, it helps. It like, it depends on your doctor. Like I've had some doctors recommend it like once every couple years, every 3 years. Mine is every year for every single patient. Exactly. Nice and talk to you about what they're doing. My doctor is really good about like the consent thing too, because she asks like all the good questions and like make sure you're comfortable and all that. Oh my God, the discomfort does. Because did you know that like based on where you are in your cycle can depend and can determine like the firmness or also the location, like if your cervix is high or if it's low inside of your body. And that can determine like where you're at in your cycle. And also like the openness of your cervix as well, like the little hole, is also determined on where you are in your cycle too. So there's so many different things that go into that equation that can like equate to pain, like if you're more sensitive or like less sensitive or something. Oh, right. Yeah, no, that really does help a lot too. Especially the familiarity. It's not that bad. I'm glad they have those because they're a good preventative. They're doing this. They do them during pregnancy as well. They sure do. That can also help with like in the event that you know an STI is like caught or something during pregnancy, then it can help like guide your birth plan too based on that, and how it might impact the baby. Similarly to any other health screenings like a COVID test. Yes, exactly. Better to check and 100%. Better safe than sorry. Every 3 seasons come back something every 6 months to a year. Yep. And sometimes there can be false negatives. So or a false positive. So sometimes something might get a little bit weird. It just really depends. Mammogram. Yeah, mammograms are so important. Because I know like talking about these things isn't like, or the knowledge of these things isn't exactly a common thing depending on where you grew up and the way that you were raised or something like that. And that there is no shame in not knowing these things because we all learn different things at different times in our lives. My OB does one at the beginning of pregnancy and one at the end after you come back for the checkup. Yep, that's a good day too, or a good time to do it too, because there's a lot going on with all those cells and stuff too. Oh yeah, you change a ton as you age, and they can help you with intimacy discomfort, which are the medical interventions for. Something women don't feel comfortable talking about and end up suffering in their relationship, not realizing it's okay to talk to your doctor about it. Yeah, exactly, because there's so many things that can happen. 100%. Yeah, there's so many things, but no shame in asking questions. We're not professionals, but you know, so we can't like actively like tell people what to do, but we can just like, hey, this is something you should consider looking into and talking to someone about, kind of thing. Yeah, it's very good to be cautious with your health for sure. Anyone in the US, advocate for yourselves and it feels awkward, like you're being pushy, right? It's really hard. Exactly. You can't learn things if you don't ask. That's real. That's very true. Just some good conversations for Monday morning, you know. I like having these sort of conversations though. They're super important to have. But I hope everyone had a really good weekend. Sorry I ended up having to cancel the streams though. I was like sitting there just like falling asleep because I was so tired. My pain was like irritating and stuff and like kind of just like uncomfortable, especially on Saturday. But then I was just tired. I was exhausted. I have PMDD, which is like PMS on crack, basically. And oh my gosh, I got absolutely whammied with exhaustion this cycle. I've been pretty good for like the last couple, like for a while, honestly. Cocoon weekend, I was like, I slept the whole day. Michael looked at me, he's like, wow, you never take naps and you never sleep like this. And I'm like, I know. Usually there's something going on, usually with my cycle, or like I'm getting sick. I'm not getting sick, but typically with my cycle, just need a good old cocoon weekend. Some doctors will say that's what happens to women to learn to deal. I had one of those and walked it out. No, for real. Oh, like if you get pushed aside, like medically or something, or unheard, like, yeah, no, not putting up with that. An exam this weekend. Oh, it was definitely a cocoon weekend. Real. Learned you had it. Was it just worse symptoms with your period? So there's a lot of things that can impact people differently. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I can't really diagnose or like, you know, but like my own, because it's going to be different for everyone. But like for my own thing is like my PMS symptoms are really bad. And like I have cramps before my period because I have uterine fibroids. And I was talking about it. And like after a while, I learned not to, honestly, like for my last doctor, like I learned not to diminish, how do I want to say, like diminish my symptoms and like to minimize them a little bit, you know, because I just kind of manage, but I'm tired of just managing. So I was able to finally talk to my doctor about it and be like, here's the deal. I'm basically out of commission pretty much for like about a week out of every single month. And that is undoable. Like self-advocacy is a really hard thing to like manage and stuff like that. And then we had some conversations about things I was experiencing and like, you know, how it could look differently from person to person. And then, yeah, so I finally, like within the last year, got that diagnosis after like suffering with things for real, like for a really long time, pretty much my whole pubescent life. Hi, Madeline, good to see you. But of course your body changes and like the older you get and the different, your symptoms can look different from someone who is like a lot younger too. Oh, right, Ollie want to sleep. That's crazy. Hi, Madeline. Hey, Ray, I missed you too. Good to see you. I caught a case of a uterus. Yup. That was me over the weekend. I honestly could not get enough sleep. It was crazy. I think yesterday I woke up at like 7 a.m. and I like showered, did my hair, and then I literally sat down in my chair at like 8:30, 9 o'clock to like work on some things and I fell asleep. And I'm like, this is not like as I'm drinking my coffee kind of thing. And then I'm like, I am so tired. A GLP-1 medication I'm experiencing very uncomfortable indigestion. Aw, I'm so sorry about that. Hope that works out for you. But yeah, self-advocacy is so crazy hard to do though. It is in a lot of different ways. Yeah, AFAB healthcare is really underdeveloped. It truly is. But the thing that I'm mostly nervous about today is like hearing about, oh my God, because I have uterine fibroids and like statistics say it's not going to get better, you know, kind of thing. So I'm kind of like a little bit anxious about my OBGYN appointment that I have this afternoon. Hi, Jack. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Not for the pap smear, but the everything else. Plus, I'm due to start my period tomorrow. So I'm like at my bloatiest and crampiest and fartiest. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I started my jelly bean legacy. Your bubblegum Sims is with Thorn Bailey and she's pregnant. That's exciting. Oh my God, yay! That's so fun, Tweedle. I'm glad that you got it. If you guys won one in January or February, those ones are on their way as of Saturday. So those ones are on their way to you. Always trigger your period to come early, right? Your body's like, well, we're going, and you're like, no, not like that. That's wild. Hopefully my app, even if I'm not really like tracking my what's it called, my ovulation, which like squares it in even more, I'm able to, it's like within like a day or two on my my cycle thing. I'm in Europe, right? It'll take a while. Yeah, it usually takes a little bit for those ones to come. Oh Oh my first week back on it after my sleeve. It's like nausea's real. Me and Zefrine are besties right now. Aw, that sucks so much, Phoebes. I know, I hope it goes well too. Sucks, my hands go numb and burn. Aw, I'm glad there's a medication to help with that at least. That really does stink. Bubblegum is married to Bob Pancake, so it has been crazy. What? What happened with Eliza? Like, what's the deal with this? What is that? Like, I'm so curious now. By the way, in case you guys missed it, today is... Oh my God, I hate this so much, you guys. My game, like, the screen has been, like, graying out like this the whole time. I'm gonna have to restart my game. Today is Fix a Build. So if you guys have things that you want help on with your builds, let me know and we'll work on it here today. This game. Divorce. She wasn't happy about Bob's activities. Or like the lack thereof or something like that. They're just not in alignment with each other, you know? I can see that. Orange Jen was abducted by aliens last night. Really? Or Orange Jen was? That's crazy. That's wild though. Surla, good to see you. I had this problem too. It reset my monitor settings and it seemed to work. It's been glitchy since the last yeah, I feel like it's been glitchy since the last update pretty much. Fix a build, asking for layout suggestions. Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Whatever you guys need help with, like literally anything with it. Pop-ups when they don't close right, do that gray out screen. Yeah. Yep, it's the pop-ups and stuff is what it is. So it's literally like I hit escape and then it worked, but then there was something else that I did and then it just didn't work. Okay, so I did this and then I'm gonna go to new game. I know, I hate the pop-ups too. It like has been glitching out everyone's game pretty much since they did that. It's been crazy. Like, you guys just saw that, right? Like, what was that? Y'all just saw that and now there's more pop-ups. Like, what in the world is happening at the moment? The timing of that, right? The pure timing. We're doing Fix a Build today. User agreement keeps coming up. Oh, that's weird. I click more and it doesn't freeze. Oh, really? Whenever I just try to close it out, it's like, are you sure? Force close the game. Yeah, no, whenever it happens, though, Pixie, I have to like force close my game and then reopen it at the very least. Pretty much, especially if it like keeps graying out like it does. A delayed reaction there. Right. It was very delayed, wasn't it? Like, what in the world is that? What pop up? It's like the event one, basically. It's like, hey, this is the event that's going on right now, kind of thing. And it's so wild. By the way, would you guys love me if I was a worm? Hey! Woo-woo! Thank you so much for the 10 months. Oh, so it might be Tool. Okay, no, that's for sure. Good to know. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, once every single stream, we give away a worm sticker. So if you want to enter for a worm sticker, it's right here. He's really cute. Welcome. I'm kind of crampy today and like a little slow on the uptake, so you guys have to excuse me. Gassy, crampy, you know, all the fun things for PMSing. Hey, thanks so much for the follow. How the heck are you? Welcome on in. Ooh, Cobra, especially if it was causing you a lot of like grief. Good on that. Welcome. We're gonna be fixing your guys' builds today in something called Fix a Build. So by the way, that worm sticker is a real worm sticker that I will send to you for like real, in real life. Gloomchi, send me a message. I will send you your form right now. Good morning. I hope that you're doing good. Hey, what? You would love me the most if I was a worm. That is what is up right now. Hi, Gone Goose. Welcome. Nice to meet you. I hope you're doing good. Oh, the new job on the 31st. That is so amazing. Congratulations. I really hope that whole situation goes well for you. There's your worm form, Gloomchi. I just sent it to you. Yeah, y'all. I'm a little bit like, woo, today because I pretty much slept the entire weekend. It was kind of crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to play ads. And while we're in ads, I'm going to gather up any tier 2 or tier 3 names that would like to go on the wheel because we're doing Fix-A-Build today. Anyone can enter this, but we alternate between the wheel and random pulls for everybody. So I'll be right back and I'll see you in a second.
Roll that beautiful baby footage.
Okay, so for anyone that's here that has a tier 2 or a tier 3 subscription, what would you like to do? So I got Serena. Sybil has one. Hi, Anne. Good to see you. Welcome on in. We got Phoebes. I love the Fix-A-Build. I think it's so fun. It's basically this. My EA account ID, mine is Zefrine TTV. Need some curb appeal help? Okay, because I can help with landscaping, your roofing, your floor plan, or just overall, like if you're not sure something doesn't look right, or if you want like some opinions. Basically anything that you would like help on, I can kind of give you some pointers and sort of try to like voice what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing as I'm making the decisions that I am, I guess, the best I can. Because sometimes I just kind of look at it and I do it, but I'm doing my best to like try to vocalize those things the best I can. And it's a lot of fun. I hope everyone had a good weekend though. I know Fix-A-Build days are really, really fun. I agree with you. So this wheel is for higher tier subscriptions, but anyone can enter this. Bo! How are you? Oh my God, that scared me. I was like, who is that? Oh, it's Bo. I love that. Thank you so much for 21 months. I hope you're doing good. I love the new name so much. It's really good. Always get the build itch though. Right. Always. 21 months. I hope that you're well. Happy Monday. It's me. Thank you, Natalie, so much for the 100 biddies. Good morning. Welcome. Just as a reminder, I do have to leave, unfortunately. I'm sorry that things have been so discombobulated this weekend, like with the subathon stuff. But I do have to leave today at like 2:30 to 2:45 because I have an appointment. Hey, Anne, thank you so much for 3 months. That's really awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I have an OBGYN appointment and I couldn't push it. It basically would have taken me to like early June, and I don't want to do that right before my wedding because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming down during that time. So I apologize again. I couldn't move these appointments because I scheduled this one about a year ago because it's my annual. And then, yeah, so here we are. So I'll have to leave today at like 2:30 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. basically. Womp womp. I love it here. Thank you so much for being here though. I'm so like grateful for you guys' time and your guys' energy and amazingness. So what's the weather like for everyone this week? I think it's supposed to be like in this like high 60s here today. I do want to say, if I remember, hi Crafty, welcome back. Perhaps in June, and there's like anything to do to prepare for it? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily anything that you need to do to prepare for it. Good on you for doing your first pap smear though. That's a big step and it's really important to do. 70s, 65. Wow, that's actually pretty chilly. In Belgium, it's very spring vibe, sunny and stuff. Nice. Yeah, oh geez. Yeah, it's 46, feels like 39. It's very windy here. And then it's 65 Fahrenheit for a high today. Tomorrow's 74. And then down to 63, then 49. So it's the ebb and flow of spring in the Midwest. Also, we're back from ads. This recording is in partnership with the EA Creator Network. I think today I would like to start with a random pull for our Fix-A-Build stuff. So if you have a build that you would like us to help with, do you want like landscaping advice, floor plans, roofing, overall advice or something? Whatever you would like, design help, whatever. Type HALP, help, in chat. 80s last week, the tornadoes Friday, and now it's 30s to 50s. Wow. Yeah, I can totally add you the wheel, 100%. Jedi, good morning. How are you? 32 here. It feels like 21 after being 65 yesterday. That's wild. Right? That's crazy. Misery. That happened to me. I think it was like Thursday into Friday or something. It like was it was like 81 one day, and then it was like down in the 50s. And then I kind of, I'm a chronic pain inflammation girly because of like my fibroids and everything else. So I'm like a barometer, and then I felt just like bruised pretty much everywhere. Does that make sense? Like just deep bruised, achy everywhere. This pollen, that's rude, honestly. My area probably get another snowstorm before spring. Oh God, 100%. There's definitely going to be like another snowstorm here. I can guarantee that. In March, where I'm at, we got a little bit of snow like yesterday morning, really early yesterday morning. It's not snowy where I live, but I selfishly love it, right? So stormy. I don't mind the storms. I just hate the weather peaks and, you know, all the ups and downs. All right, so I am gonna go ahead and draw Peachy Tori. What's your gallery ID? A fake spring? Oh, 100%. Do I like cold weather? I prefer, not really. I like the seasons for different purposes, if that makes sense. I really like the I really like winter for its reasons, but I also am glad when spring comes, if that makes sense. I don't, if I had to have a preference, I like spring and fall the most. Because I like those like drastic changing of the seasons kind of thing. But I like different things about every single season, I would say. All right, Peach, what build would you like our assistance on? And let me know what you would like help with specifically. Visible progression time. Yeah, I love living where the seasons change, because there's something beautiful about winter. There's something beautiful about fall, and then there's something just gorgeous about springtime when everything is like the birds are coming back and it's just so crisp and muddy and the grass is blooming and like the flowers are poking out, especially those early ones like daffodils and like tulips. They're the first ones to usually come out. It's like there's something magical about it. Hey, nerd! I love you. Thank you for 66 months. Send me a message. Oh my God. I know I get overly nostalgic, but for real, the bean garden has such an amazing effect on my life for the last 5.5 years. Oh, I love that, nerd. Thank you so much. How is 5.5 years even a real thing, though? How is that even real? The numbers are not real. Nerd, thank you so much for being a part of our community for such a long time. 5.5 years. You remember the pre-Michael days. Oh my God. That's insane to me. Cause like Michael this morning, he looks at me and he goes, "Happy anniversary." And I was really confused because I was like, our anniversary's in April. And then he goes, "Oh, it's 5 years since we started talking." Oh my God. And then I started talking to him and we hit it off, of course, obviously. So I call it our yapiversary. It was really cute. It was our yapiversary. Oh, so we're looking at Peachy Tori's thing. So what of these builds would you like our assistance on? Roofing and landscaping and color scheme, making sure it's not too monotone in a color. If it's not a color generation, either Willow Creek Townhouse or Auntie's Rec. Okay, so ooh, I like the looks of this Willow Creek Townhouse. This is really cute. That's cute. I go whale, yeah, literally. I don't deserve this man, y'all. You know what's really funny? Our you know how they get like mash names together and you make like a celebrity name or like one of those names, you know? It's their couple's name. My first name is Rachel and his is Michael, so it's either Michael or Rachel. It's just spelled differently. It's either like this or I said that. Rachel or Michael. He pointed that one out. Okay, so Bikel. His first name is Bikel. So basically you're looking to see if the color scheme is not too monotone. Either Willow Creek or Townhouse. I really like this one. So this one is a 30 by 20 and it looks like it goes over on the little 30 by 20 thing in the corner. So we're gonna go to Manage Worlds. One of those for a man like that, the Amazon, right? I don't know. Honestly, I look at all of my, like everything in my life and simply not accepting things that didn't feel right, if that makes sense. But also a lot of self-work to be real with you. I don't know if it's stubbornness. It probably is. The CH pronunciation is like Rachel or Michael. Rachel or Michael. Deviant Zeph. Hey, that has a ring to it, doesn't it? Mr. Eichel here. There. That's a Mr. Eichel. Michael. Oh, you spell your name Rachel. Mine's Rachel. Yeah, mine's just that. Oh, these are so cute. So there's like a pastel pink, blue, or a green. Okay, so you're looking to see if it feels so monotone and if it's not a color generation. What do you mean, like not a color generation? Are you in like regards to what, like a legacy generation for colors? Nice. See, Rachel's just a good name, just saying. Oh, you've fallen into the color gen loop where all my builds are the same color. Okay. Okay, so like you feel like you're just drawn to specific colors. Making a joke. No, I get it. Not just our stuff. Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, I understand that. Some people are just different about remembering things like that. I get it. So not so berry or jelly bean legacy. Okay, so like you feel like if it's not pink, you don't adding more color variety. Okay, so one thing that really, really helps me when I'm doing things, when I'm trying to build for like a specific generation in order, because like it doesn't, not everything has to be like under the pink filter. So there's something here. So let's pull up, it's kind of like color theory, but for like babies, in a way, and like a very beginner's format. Let me find something here. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, this is literally like color theory for like infants and babies in like the purest, most dumbed down form possible. So when you're looking at things like this, so you can look at the color wheel. So if you feel like your builds are feeling a little bit too close together and a little bit too like similar, so if you look opposite the color wheel, so red is the complementary to green and green is the complementary to red. So basically straight across the color wheel from each other. This is something that's really easy to do. That's why like if you want to try to use an orangey floor, you can use like blue wallpaper, you know, and like it'll kind of help dial each other in a little bit. Same with like yellows and purples. Honestly, it's really easy to get a little bit sports teamy. Yes, I can 100% do that. So we have violet and nostalgic. So here, so this is something, it's easy to get really sports teamy, but it could kind of help you at least grasp the basics on how to create something that doesn't look all like yellow or orange or red, all monotone. And it helps pull you in different directions and then kind of like do that, if that makes sense. So that's one good tip about making sure that your builds aren't really going to be, yeah, I know. I wish that like red and green weren't too Christmassy all the time. It's very possible to do like not Christmassy builds, but or Christmassy things, but it's really hard. It's really, really, really hard. Wicked, yep, because it's pink and then it's like green. Because they, I believe, are like, to some extent, like kind of opposite on the color wheel to each other. Because if you look at it, obviously these ones don't have like the whole spectrum and things like that. But like pink might fall somewhere in here-ish. And then it kind of pulls like relatively opposite in that way, if you kind of see. It's like pink and green fall opposite on the color wheel to each other. They are not at all the same color, but they still look very, very balanced and good together because it's symmetry in color. Yeah, sage green and dark maroons. Yep, because then you started adding like values and hues and then saturation to the whole thing too, if that makes sense. So not everything is going to be like bright green or bright green or like bright red or something. You can find like maroon, which is like a different hue, I believe is what it is, of red, and then sage green, which is like a different hue of like that like really rich like Christmassy green that you kind of think of. It's a lot more dialed down. Pink and teal. Yeah, pink and teal are things that could look really, really good together. So that's one way to sort of like think about if you're struggling with like the homogenization, like everything kind of looks the same and you can't break free of this. I also like finding a good grounding color. So like pick one thing that you want to be a feature of your room, if that makes sense. Like, what do you want to be your focal point? Like, if I were building a kitchen, I would maybe play with like the fun appliances like you did, and then maybe like the table. And then everything else we can kind of play with a little bit too. Whether or not you opt to use the opposite, which would then be like a teal color, is completely up to you. That really depends design wise, like what kind of sim your sim would be. Is that more like artsy fartsy kind of thing? So like art and rugs. Yes. So that's one of my favorite things to do as well, is like if you're struggling to not go all the same color, one thing that you can do is like, or if you want to break your mold even further, or like get yourself out of the habit of only using white or black or whatever, or gray, you're like, oh, I really, really like the way that this rug looks. So then I'm like, ooh, this rug is really cute, but I'm kind of afraid of it. So then you try to like build a room based off of that kind of thing, if that makes sense. Sagey green, dark red, pink, and accents. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Because when you add like the hues and values to things, when you just have like green, green, or red, red, then it doesn't feel Christmassy in that way. But does that make sense? Like, so not everything has to be the same color. So I think if you, here, let me just strip this down and let me keep this table and let's get some fun appliances and kind of like work it from here. So we're just going to rework this one room and we're just going to kind of run with it. So I love the color pink too. I like color in general. This might not be an exact example of like you sticking necessarily to like the color wheel thing. Again, that is just a good example to help you pull out of that, or how to pick like a floor color, for instance, is a really good way too. Because like, oh, you can like if you're in your house and you know like the 90s were really subject to having those like oaky, those yellow oak cabinets, and they just look absolutely dated and disgusting sometimes, right? There's ways that you can pull those to feel less yellow in context. This is a really good example of this, because like I know most of us are like, oh my god, I hate that, I just want to paint them white, or I want to paint them some color. Instead of like working with it, you can work against it, if that makes sense. Oh, right, Naka, for real. But like if you start introducing not necessarily like a blue, but like kind of like a nice bluey green, or even kind of like a nice like medium or like a lighter blue color, or play with other accents or something, it starts to pull that yellow like out of its context. Because the 90s was like a very beige and yellow time. So in context, this was like extremely yellow, but do you kind of understand what I'm talking about? So because yellow and orange are opposite of blue on the color wheel, it kind of pulls the colors out of context and makes them feel less like in your face, I guess. Is a good way to kind of do it. So you see here, they added this like bluish, it's not even like a blue black backsplash kind of thing. It's like, hi Coco, I'm calling you guys out right now, right? I get it. Trust me, I have white cabinets, but I wish I had honey oak. I do. I really wish that I had honey oak. I would kill for it, honestly. But like, Yeah, exactly. There's a planner. Yep, there's a videos involving like keeping honey oak cabinets instead of painting them or staining them a different color. So like you see the blue here, which is opposite orange and yellow on the color wheel. Then when pulled into context, they added this like really nice like neutral gray blue color. It's not even neutral, just like a nice gray blue color, and then it kind of just dials it down. Same with like the rug. And then you have like your brass accents to maybe make things like to brighten it a little bit and make things pop. But cream can also help with this a lot, but blue is a lot more popular for obvious reasons because in context it's just very cute. But that is like one good example. Whether or not you opt to do the whole like color wheel thing, you've got your pink and like the green or whatever, or even like you could even pull this direction depending on like what kind of pink you go. It's kind of up to you. But you can find things that still balance it out still. Blue is very what, right. So like in this context, like something here is like, rather than like playing like on the color wheel, like opposite, maybe then you can pick items that let it have its moment. Still like let the pink have its moment. So then I reached for like, instead of like this table, because you have two different pinks, you've got like a very salmon pink and then like a bubblegum pink. One's kind of like a yellowy pink, and then this one's kind of like a cool tone pink, warm and cool tones kind of thing. If that makes sense. So then you might pick something that allows your pink to kind of, because that's where I think value is what it's called. I'm still learning all the exact things, but the differences between like the warm and the cool tones and letting things kind of have their moment. Because then you kind of run into the same problem here. Here's like a warm tone, and then you got like a cool tone on the wall. So they kind of like, they're still pink, but they're still like, nah, it can't decide on what is trying to be the right one. So maybe then I like pulled this in, and this kind of gives the chairs their moment, if that makes sense. Hey! Yeah, too many pinks. Pink is great, but you know. Woo! Welcome on in. But if you want to color melt everything, go for it. But make sure that your pinks are still like not clashing and working with each other. Figma? No, I actually straight up ordered. There's this guy that I followed on TikTok. I ordered, it's like a little fidget tool thing, and it's so cool. I bought it. I'll have to, if he pops up again, I'll let you guys know who he is, because I think it's really cool because he talks about like the values and the colors and everything like that, and like what he would use to like, it's to like color certain things. And he uses color theory to do it. It's really, really, really cool. But it's essentially like this little keychain fidget thingy. And I don't even know if I can find it. But it's like the wheel, and then it's so cool. I can't even find like a picture of it right now, but it should be to my house today actually. So if it gets here before I leave, but I'll for sure show it to you guys tomorrow. But it shows like a different, rather than just like opposite ends of the color wheel, it also shows, yeah, I don't know what his name is, but it's really cool. But it shows like different like values and like saturations of different colors, and like it widens that scope rather than just being like opposite the color wheel that I was talking about. It widens that scope a little bit to like help you understand like how maybe like a salmon pinky color, while it's still pink, and like it falls more red, can also play with like other things in a fun way too, to like make it feel good amongst other colors and stuff. I don't know, it's really cool. Obviously this is like a really dumbed down, not great way of explaining things, but it's kind of like, it just helps you view color differently, and it's really neat. Yeah, exactly. It's also why clothes can work or not, since people naturally lean towards warmer, cool colors as well. Yes. So again, like this whole thing is like letting, like see like the pink with the walls works better with these chairs. This one still is a little bit more like warm or cool toned, but if that makes sense. But the pink on the walls definitely plays a little bit like better here. But and then so Again, you could even bring this in if you wanted to go this way, because not every sim is going to be like that, you know? Like you could even bring in like a little bit of blue on the floors if you decided to, or you can opt to go somewhere a little bit more neutral if it's not the style that you're kind of envisioning. You could go something that's a little bit more grounding so it doesn't take away from like your cute little table or even like your appliances and stuff that's going on here. So then you use these adorable appliances, which this is really cute because again, it's not clashing with your other pink. It's not trying to be cool or warm toned or like, you know. So then you can pick maybe like this one too. Again, if you wanted to. So then you've picked a few items that are allowed to like kind of stand out among something. And I think it also makes it feel a little bit more realistic too, personally, if that makes sense. A lot of it is preference, yes. Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily use something like this because I feel like there's just too much trying to happen. Let's see. I don't even know what we would end up picking. You could even like try to go with something a little bit more like white or something like that, or even like go back to the ones that you had too, because your old cabinets were still kind of like very similar in that way as well. Or your old cabinets were still like white and gray, I want to say. Thanks so much, Clards. I really appreciate it. I'm wearing Sims merch today. But you kind of get the idea. So like what you end up, oh, also accent walls are going to be your best friend because they're going to draw you to a certain spot. So maybe you might pick something, maybe that's kind of fun and pink back here. Even this one kind of works, but it doesn't go well with your wallpaper because again, they're trying to be two different kinds of types of pink. You could even like try to do something like this and maybe do something a little more neutral on the walls, or you could go full fun color. Again, it just depends on like, what would your sim do or what would you like to do with that? But does that kind of make sense? Like, I feel like picking the grounding item and then kind of going from there would be a really good spot to start. Because obviously this is going to feel like so neutral and so like bland to some people, but I feel like it could at least kind of teach you to sort of look at it differently in that way. Yeah. So you've got your like chairs, and also you could even like take this a step further too, and then maybe switch that away from that cream, because again, if you do this here, like your colors should always have like a friend to look to. So like in here, if I really wanted to go the cream to sort of like make this feel a little less stale, you'd have to find like a creamy color to bring in a friend for this, because like you're there, so there should always be something that kind of like makes it feel like it belongs in the space versus like, oh, there's my one cream table or whatever sort of thing. But just playing around with it, picking an like a good grounding item. So I guess in order to teach yourself to not feel like you're just going with like a complete monotone color thing, I guess at the end of the day, picking a few items that you want to stand out, making sure that you're picking colors that aren't like trying to work against each other, like warm and like cool tone pinks, because it can feel like it's kind of just like blah, because nothing, it all kind of just melds together because there's nothing really standing out. And then also making sure that all of your colors have a friend. So for instance, like I said, if you wanted to go the cream on here, you'd figure out like some other way to bring in some sort of a cream color, and it could be maybe something like this, just change your color countertops a little bit if you decided you wanted that or whatever. So that would be a really good place to start, I think. You could even go this way too if you wanted to go that direction. But again, that's entirely up to you. And like the way that you want to build your house. And then also, if you really actually did want to lean into like the color wheel aspect as well and try to like mess with that. Hi, Unicorn. Good to see you. Welcome on in. But thank you. I hope that helped like a little bit to help break that like homogeny of things, I suppose. Ooh, a shell challenge that has a color challenge. That would be really fun to do, actually, where like you have to pick an item that you don't really pick ever, and then you have to like figure out how to build with it or like work it into a room. It could even be like a room challenge, because sometimes I like doing that with like a rug or a bed. And then you could like learn how to use different colors instead of like picking like the safe like white or gray or whatever. Then you could pick something that kind of like, yeah, I don't know, you know, exactly. Or you could have items that you have to use. Yes. Oh my God, Goose, I hope you enjoy it. A room challenge, right? Welcome back, Emily. You and the cupcake machine? That's vile. How do you decide? So we end up doing random build, like random tours. So essentially, this wheel is for tier 2 or tier 3 subscribers, but then of course Tori was one that we had like a random pick, so you enter the keyword, and then it draws your name. So that one was a random keyword one, and then we're gonna do a wheel spin pull, and then we'll go back to the keyword and I'll have you guys enter that then, if that makes sense, because we alternate between the two. But yeah, so this is for tier 2 or tier 3 subs. So I'm not like a color professional, like a design professional. I just have a very big interest in interior design, and the way that like color kind of impacts that is so fascinating to me. Because like color theory is so interesting and terrifying all at the same time. You see, they added a lot of neutrals to sort of in like the black to like draw that in so that they don't feel so oaky. It's really cool. Anyway, ads are gonna play in just a second, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and let those play. And I'll see you in a little bit. Hold tight.
Roll that
IRL
beautiful
house?
bean
Yeah,
footage.
literally. I feel like I have kind of fallen onto the other end of that spectrum, where like I'm almost overwhelmed because my house is gray and white. So it's too much of a clean slate, if that makes sense. No, Cobra, same. My house is millennial gray. With Caspian blue. Oh, so it's kind of like it's like almost like a royal blue color. Is that what you're talking about? You could do a lot of things with like nice plummy brownish reddish colors. It's terrifying, right? It depends on like what context you want to take it into, if that makes sense. Like a light ocean color blue. Oh, like a light ocean blue? I'd have to see it. Because Caspian blue is something that's showing up with like these royal blue colors. Like very much so. Like with too much clutter. So I'm like, no, exactly. Yep. Because I know that happens to a lot of people. Oh, it's a Sherwin-Williams color. Okay. Oh, so is it like this? Oh, it's like this. You could definitely play with like, I would do like nice chocolatey browns and cream with something like this, or you could even play with like nice sage green colors if you wanted it to be like more soothing. That's something that you could do. Came out like a little bit lighter. Okay, yeah, you could still do like nice chocolatey brown colors. You could do cream. You could do like nice green colors. And then, because like brown is still orange. So like you can still you can play with that, you know? So you can still play with that in that context, if that makes sense. So like this is kind of like a nice muted blue. So you could go like a muted brown or like a deeper brown color, because then it would still play in that orange way. Stain on my wood frames would work. Yeah, like a stain like that would look really nice. All my walls white. I'm afraid to do wall. No, colored walls is so scary. I'm honestly kind of like fighting myself right now in my own personal house. Yeah, mauves with blues. Yes, it really depends on what you wanted to go, because you could go like a nice muted mauve color, more rosy and purpley, because again, that takes you kind of it takes you kind of like, I think it's triatiri technically, or whatever it's called, because like blue and red and yellow are like triangularly away from each other, and blue and red are like straight across the bottom. Here, let me show you. Like that. So they're kind of still next to each other, but you could play with like that plummy color, and then brown would kind of bring you to this orangey color. Because brown is still orange, remember that. So like, you could pick something that really goes well with that. A millennial will ever even have one, right? Grays, yeah, mine are all like, I think it's Knitting Needles by Sherwin-Williams. That's what it's allegedly called. You could do yellow. I wouldn't go something that's like really intense, but you could do like cream, which is technically yellow. But then again, it really depends on what you want to do for like how intense you want it to be. You know what I mean? Because colors can be like taken in different contexts a lot of the time. So like blue and yellow, but do you want it more cranked up, or do you want it like more dialed down? Like what kind of effect do you want to have, and what aesthetic are you going for? Because that's also something that also comes into question too. Gold is technically a yellow as well, it sure is, because I have like these gold colored curtains, and then we're going like this really deep teal on our walls. And I'm really fond of that. And we have like some yellowy oaky style like end tables or like little nightstands in our bedroom, because it plays in that like that oaky color. Brown can be red too. Yep. It is. It's really interesting when you start thinking of brown in the context of like yellow and like how it's actually still kind of orange. It's really, really interesting to think of it that way. Also, we're back from ads. This recording is in partnership with the EA Creator Network. Everyone like that has human hair, our hair is just a different color of orange at the end of the day. It all has like a warm undertone to it. All hair does. My walls are blowing eggshell or something, but it's a monochrome girly, all black and white, and then I toss on an accent color. Yeah, that's really fun too. So much Sakura Blossom stuff. That is really fun. Find pink dishes. That's cute. I really like that a lot. Most of my furniture is brown or black. Yeah, I feel like throwing in some like cream, almost like a warm white, would be really fun to do. But it also depends, like I said, on like what you'd want to do with that, if that makes sense, like aesthetically. Because it's really easy to pull coastal then if you go that direction. All right, so we're gonna do a wheel spin off of the wheel. Does anyone have a tier 2 or a tier 3 sub that we want to add to the wheel? Gray with accent colors we rent. Yeah, fun is limited. Yeah, I get it. Our rentals were always like that almond color, you know, like the almond like fleshy color. I'm really tempted to just paint almond and then go from there, but I also think I'll probably hate myself for it because my house is too gray and white and I don't know what to do, because I just like color, but I'm like, what do I want to do? How many different colors do we want to do? Grays with accents for pill. Yeah, oh my god, with teal accents, that's so cute. I love that. Hi Haley, welcome on in, because I know my house, I almost want to pull very like muted but rich jewel tones, if that makes sense, because like our living room is this nice like warm green color, but it's not super bright, but it's not super vivid or saturated, which is great. Nostalgic, are you still around? Again, not a color professional by any means, so I was probably getting things incorrect with like my phrasing, but like I hope the context is kind of something that is making sense. Furniture is all white, and I'm not sure how to add color. Really dark floors, though. Throw pillows or throw rugs would be really fun. Or even very fun pops of color through your curtains. That's something that you could do. You could bring in some like really fun colors that way. Yay! That's exciting, nostalgic. Just uploaded one. Perfect. We're doing Fix-A-Build today. I just love color. I also keep going back and forth between like 4 different colors for my office when I move it to the other room. Mark, welcome on in. And I don't know what to do because it's gonna change up until the week that I do it. You know what I mean? So this one's by Nostalgic. This is gonna go on Bargain Bend. All right. Can you tell me exactly what you would like us to get eyeballs on. Oh yeah, fun throw blankets, right? Exactly. Because I know, I'm trying to convince Michael to let me get like a Persian style rug. Not like a Persian rug because like that's expensive, but like a Persian style rug, you know, like the really fun pattern and like play with that in our living room. With like blues and yellows and stuff and like creams. I really want to do that. But he says no, which is rude. Um, should change the throw blanket and pillow. Yeah, exactly. I know, I wish we could do that too. Cause like think if you get different like my biggest tip about whether or not you like when you get throw pillows, just buy different pillowcases and switch them out throughout the year instead of getting all new pillows. Just get pillowcases and then boom, you can like switch it like, oh, I'm kind of tired of the blue or whatever color, and then just switch it to something else. Playing with this one for a month, so just don't like about it, and I moved to something else because I just don't know how to fix it. Okay, so like is it like the roofing or like, yeah, that's what we do. It's really nice. Oh, the inside is so cute. I like what you got going on with your floor plan. But there's something that's just not sitting right with you, right? Yeah, especially like on Etsy. Yep. They do, especially if you end up finding throw pillows that are kind of like a good standard size for the most part. Just look around and see like what things typically are like offered in. Usually it's like 18 by 18 or something, or 20 by 20. And then just kind of go from there. Inside because the outside just isn't hitting. Okay. So it looks like this is intended to be like the front door, right? Okay, so when obviously this is all like opinion based, so take it with a grain of salt because like my design preferences and tastes aren't going to be what someone else's are. Fix a build is kind of just to help unstuck the stuck, I guess sometimes. When I look at something, I look at like, okay, is there too much of something that I'm noticing? And what I'm noticing here is that there's a lot of like white. There's like a lot of like this, like a similar color. It's just a lot of flat surface, if that makes sense. And typically what I like to do when I do like entryways is I like to like kind of frame it out. And you've kind of started that with your wisteria here. But just for the roofing sake, I'm gonna get rid of your trees just so we can see a little bit easier. But I think something cute to kind of do, because if as you're looking at it from the side, while this is neat, I don't think it really goes with what we might want to try to accomplish perhaps with like the rest of it. So I'm seeing like a lot of these half gabled roofs this way. So I feel like it's trying to interfere. It's trying to be something that the rest of the build isn't, you know, because I see you have this, but the slope that goes all the way down to the ground is trying to like pull modern, I think, in my humble opinion. So what I think I might try to do, I'm also gonna like probably try to ruin this a little bit. Also, just so I can kind of get into your head. Is this something that you're doing for like a shell challenge, or is this something that you can like change these rooms to? Because that's another important question I have as well. Because I think it might be kind of fun to mess with this here as well. I'm trying to break it down and see like what my brain is seeing when I'm doing it, because sometimes I just do it, you know, without like, you know, because I'm just building. Personal save. Okay. All right. So we have that option to change it if we want. So what I would try to do now is sort of like I was saying, like we're seeing a lot of like a single thing. We saw like a lot of the white flat stuff. Is try to break this up. And one of my favorite ways to do that is by creating like a little porch situation kind of thing. And we're going to figure out exactly how we want to do this. So I see you've got like a lot of like gabled riffs going on. So we're going to add a little bit of difference here by using some half-hipped stuff. Because I feel like breaking it up might be kind of cute. And I might try going like this here. So this is just this half gabled situation. And then I'm going to try to bring this back this way, because it's going to fit over that piece really, really nicely. And then in addition to this, you also might be able to do like your own little like roof piece here. Or not roof piece, but like a deck that kind of frames this really nicely. So I'm just going to add this here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this here. This might like move your stuff, but it's fine. I don't know how to roof. It's tricky because you really have to learn like how some of these things kind of like go together. You know what I mean? Like how to fit some of these pieces together. I know I do love a good porch or a deck. Same, I sure do as well. And then you had that, which is really cute. So here what I've done is I've added like this hipped roof again. Ooh, you could even like do that there and like bring this all the way across here to like make this covered porch on the back, if you know what I mean. If you decided to do that, and then you could even like bring those eaves forward or out just a little bit. And you could even like increase the pitch of this a little bit to make it not look so flat, to like eat up more of that flat space that you kind of had going on. You could do that if you decided to. Or if you feel like, because again, I feel like then since we did this, this gave us too much situation that I was talking about before. That we were trying to like undo or get rid of. So this is a little bit trickier. I always struggle with getting these types of roofs to like line up. So we're just gonna have to play with it. This is still a struggle with me. And I think we actually did all right here. But you've ended this here just like this. Or you could even like bring this here if you wanted and then just ended it there. But again, with like the too much thing, and maybe even bringing these in. With roof, when I have a vision and the game is like, no, you can't do that, right? It's really hard because you really do have to do a lot of like playing around and like it's because roofing is a giant puzzle, literally. There's some things that some of you guys do. I'm like, I don't know how you thought to do that in the first place, but you did that. So that's a way that you can kind of like bring this together. However, I feel like, again, we're still struggling with like the too much situation up here. So I'm actually going to move up here for a second. So, there's a lot trying to happen up here. So one thing that I might try to do, and when you're looking at a roof, you might pick the biggest area to kind of go from. So I'm going to take this hipped roof and we're going to do this. So I'm going to use this hipped roof, and then I might like rotate this to bring this here a little bit, maybe, and we're going to see how we feel about this situation. Maybe even bring this lower. Maybe like this a little bit. Oops, this is going to have to like stretch. Oh, that's a little bit tricky. Hold on, just because of the way things are kind of like landing here. Let's see. Oh, it does get a little bit weird. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do, because of those corners and they're just not going out that way very well. So like one thing that you could do too. The attic, because I was there to break up the monotony. Okay. So we can get rid of this too if you wanted. Okay, so one thing that really helps out, if you're really kind of struggling, is looking for things that are straight across. So one thing that you're kind of having trouble with is this, but now that so you could opt to bring this over a couple if you wanted, so then it just goes straight across with this one, if you wanted to make the corner better. However, you can still kind of get away with this. And what I'm going to try to do is seeing like how maybe like a hipped roof kind of looks up here. Go like that, maybe lower it a little bit. This does get a little bit strange over here. So I think I'm going to try to like bump this in one just to see how it looks. Or maybe even move this over entirely and maybe try to like center it on this wall. And the reason why I'm doing that is, it'll allow you to kind of not have to worry about the flat edge over there as much, because again, it's like the too much thing that I was talking about before. And you might even be able to bring this here, because again, we're looking for that square corner. And bringing this here, because like this roof piece is taking care of the bulk for us, because when I roof things, I always look for like the biggest, flattest open shape. And then design wise, you can kind of decide like what's going on with everything else. So here, we kind of created an opposite problem for ourselves. What we did was we fixed it And like we took care of the whole idea that there was too much of like the grayish color kind of going on, or like the flat stuff going on. So then we raised that roof to like take care of that a little bit. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and lower this, and then we're gonna come at this a little bit differently. So then this is 2 over here. If you really did want this to be like straight across, wait, is that 2 and 2? Am I looking at that right? It is. Okay, so 2 and then 2. So then we're seeing a lot of like that black color again. So what you could do is go like this. And then don't be afraid to lower the pitches of your roofs too. Because I feel like sometimes by default, it kind of makes it really tall and like awkward, especially when you like widen it out or whatever. So what I then did is I broke up that like black space, and then I lowered this part, brought it in a little bit to like maybe make it not like it's hanging off too much, because again we had like too much of that black kind of showing. And then I broke up this up here by adding this little gabled roof. But when you look at it from the side, even so, like right now, it still doesn't look all that bad, in my opinion. Even though we have like a lot of the same thing kind of going on. And that was kind of struggling to sort of like fit in over here. So you could even do like a hipped roof over here on the side. It does get a little bit weird sometimes. You have to kind of play with it. And see if you can get that to like kind of line up. But I know, yeah, exactly. Because like not every house is going to be like this, but typically the front is like the focal point. Because before I was genuinely like, where's the front of it? Like, which side is the front? Because when you look at a house, like, oh, that's the front, because like it looks like it's like the face looking at you kind of thing. It's like your best side showing to your neighbor sort of thing. Of course you could add like pillars and like a fence and all that to the edges to kind of frame this out. You could do a different siding up here if you decided to, or even like on the back of this. That really is kind of just like your preference at that point. Or you could just do all siding, and then even adding like, to break this up to without like adding like a roof to make it look like it's not so flat. One of my favorite things to do is add like trim to the outside of it. And that's just exterior trim. Some stone on that jutting piece on the front, some stone. Yeah, like you could do like some stone here if you decided to do that. If that's something that you wanted to do, you sure could do that. And then looking at this side, so again, I'm seeing like a lot of something here, and it's like a lot of windows. So maybe you'll do like just like a couple of single windows or something like this, like here and here. Maybe even like dwindling this down to like maybe 1 would be like another good suggestion to kind of look at. Oh, weird. Why are you being all weird? Oh, I think it's platformed inside potentially. Or not. I don't know. Windows are weird sometimes. Anyway, so then I looked at it and I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of something going on. I also don't think this is like straight. No, they're not. They're not even. There we go. But does that make sense? Like, oh, there was a ton of windows, so it just broke that up here. And even like on those flat sides, when you're looking at it, there's a lot of window. Because the wall, like, it's okay sometimes to have nice big windows, but I feel like especially if you have like the same repeated things over and over and over, it just looks like a ton of windows sometimes. You could even do like this double one over here if you decided, but it just makes your wall to window ratio just easier, and it's also going to make your like interior floor plans look a lot better too. So maybe dwindling these ones down here to the 2s, and you can like align them however you want, or even do like a 2 and a 1 if you decided, because not everything has to be symmetrical. But again, that's all preference as well. but you see what I'm looking at it now. You're not noticing a ton of like the same recurring like pattern or anything. So we might offer some more balance here because it kind of balances that. But then in addition to this, you could also then stretch this across here. This gets a little bit weird on the back end because you have this stone pattern on the one thing. So I'm just going to duplicate this and then go like that. And then boom, problem fixed. So you just have two different roofs that are like the exact same. And then of course, one other little thing that you could totally do, and it's my favorite thing in the entire world, and that's to add pillars. Because pillars are my favorite thing in the entire world, and they really do frame things up really nicely. Exactly, like it's already more aesthetically pleasing. On the side of the window, yes, exactly. Because the style of the window, because you can have like a lot of repeating windows, but yeah, exactly. Like it really does depend on like the aesthetic and the style of house and the style of window, and there's a lot of things to be taken into context, but especially if you're going more of like a suburban style like format here, which is where this is definitely leaning. You can go this way. You might even be able to break this up further down here and go like that, or even do like, because you took this stone, you could do like a darker one or whatever, or a lighter one, or you could pick like a brick. Because right now your brown doesn't have a friend either, except for like the door, which it kind of does. I might change this to like more of a chocolatey brown, but then not all. Oh my God, that's a crime. Not all of these windows have that chocolatey brown color. But I feel like right now, picking a window that would allow your brown color in the door, which is your focal point, to kind of have a friend. And it depends on like how far you want to do that, or don't do it at all. Just go straight up white. That's my opinion. Or you could go black on the inside of this too, because the roof is your friend here, if that makes sense. I know the landscaping is so cute. See, then this one doesn't, I swear to God, EA, get your crap together. Then those little windows don't have the black swatch. But, or what you could do, because I know you have seasons, because that's the door. EA, this is a nightmare. I swear, EA. You could go the white window, because then it has like the black interior on it, like the thing, because then the black kind of has like a friend to play with. If you're catching my drift. I know. Oh my God, 3 years? Are you kidding me right now? But I hope that's making sense. Thank you so much for the 36 months. How are you doing? Oh my gooses. Send me a message. Thank you so much. Because like, right, your windows don't have to all be that same color. Because imagine if you did that really deep brown all over everything. It might look okay, but it might not also be what you're looking for. But the white feels very airy and inviting, kind of like the rest of the house. Kind of like based off of this green and then that gray. And then, yeah. Landscaping. I know all the little flowers are so cute. But I hope that kind of makes sense. I was like trying to word it the best I could. I was looking for pieces that didn't really feel like they belonged. And then, or like if there was too much of something, and then kind of trying to go from there. Like a single window, because let's try to do a little something here. You could do, let's just do like a white fence, because like that's probably the most basic thing that you're gonna have. Bring that in a little bit, and then you can play around with, I would choose the more decorative like pillars for the front rather than like the entire build for the most part, depending on what you're doing. But for in this context, I would absolutely give yourself like the more decorative ones on the front versus like a full-on Victorian house or something. But yeah. landscaping. I know, yeah, it does look really good. Ooh, and then to break this up, you could do like a really nice big window up here too. Oh, one of my also like really favorite things to do. Um, when you have like these really big walls like this, where there's like some sort of a divide or like where your wall is the same as like your roof color, um, you can, if you decide to, find something that looks similar and then add like exterior trim to it. So I'm just gonna add like a little flat square up here because because there's a room above and then you can add your like exterior trim. So I'm gonna pick something that's like really similar in color to the wallpaper in order to like give it dimension, but without like taking away from it too. Because then you have this. If you decided you wanted to do something like that. Yeah, and then picking a window that has a friend with it. You don't even have to have like windows on the sides of those because sometimes these like big these balcony things like or dormer thingies won't have windows there. They might just have like one big window. But real houses in real life won't have windows that are on every single wall. Similar for ages. Yeah, so there's a couple ways that you can do it, but that flat square is the cheapest way. It's free. But you can also use there's a fence in Strangerville as well as one in Get to Work. The stranger one is the illusion of fence. It's like literally a flat fence and you can just draw it like on the edge. But that's, you know, it costs money. And then you can also do the fence for window shopping from Get to Work. And it literally is just like a little fence like this. So you can just add that little wall right there and you can do that. Or that little thing right there. It's perfect. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. So your colors have friends. You could even like dice it up a little bit if you decided to play around and do like black fencing if you wanted to go a little bit crazy or do something a little different. Transition. Yes, it's a game changer. It seriously is. Also, Twitch is going to play ads in just a second, so I'm going to go ahead and let those play, but I'll be right back. And hold tight. You might be able to do this if you decided to. Because they're a little bit chunkier and they bring in the brick too. This is the fence from Get Famous. And I think that's really cute. Personally. I don't know about y'all. It just boom becomes more of a focal point. But yay! The Get to Work fence to base game, and it's only thing from that pack I use as builds. Yeah, it's crazy. Like that's pretty much like something that I use reliably. Yeah, you're very welcome. But I hope like when you're looking at something, look at it and be like, okay, I'm gonna break this down. Am I seeing too much of something? And then see what you can do to break it up. I guess is kind of like what the moral of the story is, if that makes sense. Oh my God, yes, Brando. I feel like they need to add that the fence from Get to Work to base game. Yeah, just like look for repeating patterns or something, or a way that you can like reduce or add something else to like change it up. Just that little porch because it divides the front from the top. And are there ways to get it to look good without adding a porch? Absolutely. But that's like one good way to sort of like bridge that gap for yourself. It's just figuring out how to add like the little porch roof thing. There's a million and one ways that you could have done that, of course. Just as a heads up, I do have to leave at like 2:30 p.m. Central today. 2:30 to 2:45 because I do have an appointment, my OBGYN appointment today. But I really wish, Brando, that they would add that fence to Get to Work, or from Get to Work to base game. That would be ideal, actually. Most homey. Yeah, it definitely made it into like a suburban house, for sure. Because it was definitely had like the blueprint and like the The bones of a suburban house. All right, there's like 50 seconds left on ads. I'm gonna go grab my water bottle from my bedroom really quick, so I'll be right back in like 2 seconds. I think I'm also gonna open my window because it's just warm in my office right now. It's also nice outside. And fix Bubblegum's overly pink apartment, right? Get to work refresh. I would love that so much, to be honest. Yeah, the get together plain column. That plain column is literally so good. All right, we are back. This recording is in partnership with the EA Creator Network. All right, if you have a build that you'd like me to peek at, go ahead and type help, HALP in chat. Let me take a swing at it for you. These are really fun, especially when there's like a very specific, how do I want to say? Like if there's something that I cannot change about it, because I think Little Bear's build was during the first Fix-A-Build that we ever did was probably one of my favorites. Because she had something where she was trying to do something based off of real life and I had to do it a very specific way and I couldn't change anything. No CC. Oh my God, Chloe, really? Oh, that's right, guys. If you do want us to look at, or if you want to do the Create a Sim challenge, it's due next week, a week from today. It's a family that has a family business, basically. Very fun. I've been enjoying doing these. I'm the complex you tried to help me with. I had to rearrange the kitchens a bit and use a trick I learned from one of these. Oh, to fix the bathrooms too. Nice. That's so fun. Very cool. Thank you so much, Nightshade, for 33 months. Yay! All right, Julius, what do you have? What's your gallery ID? Finish mine this week and I have to put it on the gallery. Nice. That's exciting. I love that. On sunbathing, his dad is Eric Lewis, right? Why do they insist on sunbathing? That's crazy. Sometimes some Sims just love doing it. Limited pack for each, and it was hard for Llama Legacy. Right, that is really tough. Now working on landscape for my shell challenge. That's exciting. Landscaping is very, yeah, sun is good for everyone. That is true. That is true. Everyone needs sunshine. Do you use overrides for eyes, brows, skins, etc.? Oh, I forgot about that. Because I never use those, but that's so true. Oh, I get it. Architect Julius. I always base my interior on how to do landscape. That is always first for me. Yes, still need that vitamin D because like that doesn't matter what your skin tone is. It definitely is vitamin D. Base my interior on how to landscape. That part is always first to me. I typically try to avoid doing landscaping for the most part. And then I try to do landscaping pretty much the same time that I do the exterior because I hate landscaping for the most part unless I have a very specific idea, if that makes sense. Then I try to just get it all over with at the same time. Oh, Emerald Library. Okay, so you're looking at like a library here. So what about this would you like us to kind of give you a little bit of help on? This is a 30 by 20, and I think this goes in Willow Creek. Down here, I want to say. Hi, Amway. Welcome on in. Good to see you. It's a bit too square. Don't know how to fix it. Got it. Okay. Stuck on the interior. Go and do a great part of the landscaping. Yes. I always love finding a build and then or like starting a build where they where there's like, how do I want to say, I was like starting a build and then like where you have like an idea and then everything else kind of just falls into place. Like there's something that has like a very good source of inspiration for you. Okay, so yes, I'm feeling a lot better. A little bit weird and lightheaded today, but pretty good. So you said that you're finding that you are having some issues with like it feeling kind of flat, right? So there's a few things that you can do depending on how you want to handle this. Because like not every single build is going to be this way, but there's something right off the bat that I think would be kind of fun to add. So you could either break this down to, you could do some like pillars. So what I'm looking at it is like, so there's two schools of thought. Add more bump outs or adding pillars, or like how do you add detail to the walls? Are my two schools of thought. So the first one that I'm going to kind of go through is not adding too much to the front of it first, but then try to add like the pillars instead of like, yeah, if that makes sense. That words are kind of hard, but like instead of like doing the bump outs right away, let's try to add something that adds dimension. Okay, so, and also there's a way that you can do that as well as add dimension by playing with different colors. So you're not just using like accent walls basically. So you're not using just one like straight flat color. Bump out tricks. So I like the pillar idea. Okay. So like the bump out thing, one thing that you, the way that you could do this, oh my God. Yeah. I have so many ideas. There's so many ways. Okay. It's just a matter of like how, like what kind of pillars you want to go with. So it looks like you're trying to do some like sort of New Orleans style situation, right? So something that's very, Bourbon Street is kind of what I'm seeing here. And it's very cute. So I suggest also trying to mess with it and like doing a different kind of brick up in here, maybe. I don't know exactly what one you would try to do. Like trying to get some sort of a different brick going. Is one thing that you could try to do. So I see you've got all these around here. Those are really fun. I think what you have going on so far is good. And you can definitely make it work. I also like the colors here too. So I wonder what kind of pillars. So I see that you have these experienced pillars here, but I feel like if you were to do something like that, then that would just be too much. So without even using these like wallpapers for the second, I'm gonna try to find something that, let's just use like a basic pillar for now. And then, so you can kind of get the concept, I guess is probably where we need to start. Hi, Rosie, welcome on in. So you don't even have to like really go like this. You could do something like that. And then, actually, you know what? No, we're gonna combine these. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna play around with both of these. This is gonna be really cute. You're gonna go like this. Because I think that doing something like this would be really, really, really cute, honestly. I really, truly do. Where you bring these out here and then maybe, so with like this wallpaper that you have right here, I feel like with those like the column-y thingies that are like on the edges get a little bit busy, especially like with how large these are. It's really easy for them to get lost. So a lot of these Bourbon Street style houses, we can just like clean those up and then do those. And then maybe we'll end up doing something that's like even like a plaster. Or some sort of like a very different style of brick or something like that. So you could go like this. And then you could still bring in that like green color that you have going on here. And like bring that all the way across these. Oh no, those ones are all like all maxed out, so that's a little bit a brown beige. Yes, I was thinking about that too because like you got a lot of green going on right now. Um, it would complement the green. You're so right. Picking something with more of a texture would be good. Hey! Thank you so much for the lovely Prime subby. Welcome on into the Beanie Weenie Club. So I see, I feel like if you were to do this, this would just be like a little bit too much on those. For those like windows. So it's like on the like the full length ones. This top, I know the smaller wall height, right? Because that's kind of what I was looking at too. Actually, this is medium, so you could bounce it down to being like a short one. And then maybe picking a window on like if you did decide to do the dormers or whatever. Bringing this all here. If you did do those dormers, or wait, I would pick something that has like more texture to it because these Bourbon Street style builds are really fun and they're like super old. So I think it would be a blast to try to pick something that kind of has like more of a weathered brick sort of situation, if that makes sense. I don't know exactly what one you would want to do. If you could do something like this, or even like on the front of these, and then maybe pick one of those that has the like that plaster look to it. Maybe there. It really depends on like what brick. Oh, wait. I actually don't think you're going to be able to find this. Where is that base game one? Squish with the low wall. A little bit. But I also feel like it looked a little bit too tall at the same time. Yeah, I think it was like maybe the roof. I think what you have going on here is really cute. You could even leave that half wall up there. Maybe mess with this, but like those Bourbon Street style houses or builds would probably, instead of like this half wall, you could do. So I think what you've got going on is really cute so far though. I think it's definitely very doable. I do like the little platform. And then they have a very high emphasis on like wrought iron stuff pretty much everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. So you can even do them like here if you decided to, like all along the outsides of this, because they're very like ornate and very extra. So adding the little details on that side of the roof might be kind of cool, and it also helps like break it up just a little bit. So something like that might be kind of fun. On the front of this part too, it's like you may even be able to like maybe combine these to do like one medium-sized dormer and then leave the big one for like the back or for the sides, or the smaller ones on like the sides or something, if you decided to do something like that. Potentially. Take it or leave it, of course. But I think the premise of the story, the moral of the story here is, I know the rounded bits are really cute. I love what you got going on at the bottom. Actually, it's always really tricky because I built my first Bourbon Street thing, like building, not that long ago. I think, what did we do? Wasn't it my library, you guys? If I remember that. I gotta remember exactly what it was. So you could do something like this, or the library or the gym. Yeah, it was like one of those two. Another thing that you could also do is do like a balcony up here. Because those balconies wouldn't really necessarily have like a roof over the top of them either. Like it doesn't even have to be like a big balcony. Yeah, that's right. It was the museum, wasn't it? You guys are right. Because to further, ooh, this would be really fun. Hold on. So like I'm gonna try to add these balconies. Because then you can also go like this. And I think I broke everything here. I think it's here. It's really hard to know exactly where those go. So I can't really see what I'm doing. Oh my God. It's hard to see. There we go. Obviously, my brick choices might not be what you end up with. Picking something that's kind of orangey, kind of like I did here. Or maybe even doing it like this and then doing this back part as the plaster instead. Actually, unbent smoothness. No, it's not unbent smoothness. It's literally like pretty in plaster, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. It's like it's a base game and it's brick that has been like covered with plaster. Let me double check here. Because those houses, they'll have like a lot of brick and lots of plaster in them, or these style of buildings. There we go. It's pretty in plaster. It's like you might do something like that to kind of break it up if you wanted, and do like this. What you've got going on is really fun though. So one of the biggest like pieces of these styles of buildings specifically is going to be a lot of like, what's it called? Like the balconies with a lot of the wrought iron is one easy way to bring these, like, to bring it into that style. The 60-30-10, 60% of your color is your primary, right? Exactly. Because then you can have like that balance and stuff. That is what a lot of people do end up using without even realizing it most of the time. Even if you don't like consciously like dial that in numerically and whatever else. I also think, so one of my other thought processes that I had is that like the wall to window ratio on those little dormers is too big. It's too, the margin on those is like too small, if that makes sense. Let me continue a thought here because there's so many little things that I'm trying to do because there's so many ideas that I have running around in my head. So I can go this way. And this is creating that like fun balcony that you'll see on those buildings quite a bit. On the back, I do think that the double dormer thing is a cute idea. On the front, however, I feel like there was too much trying to happen with like the entryway and like that space. Hi, Flappy. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing good. And I'm gonna try to bring this forward, and then you. I'm just gonna like duplicate these bad boys then, and we're just gonna go boop. I kept those windows there. As like a measure. Complementary then, said those backwards. So green, like the red brick is a complementary color, which is opposite color wheel. Yeah, exactly. So like we had like this big conversation earlier about color wheel stuff actually. And how you can bring balance and like how a lot of us do it. So brown counts as yellow and orange. Brown is like some sort of a hue or like of yellow, red, and orange, like those warmer tones, just naturally. So like green plays in like in this like area here, if that makes sense. So like green is opposite red. So you can bring balance without it feeling like it's just too much by using like the reddish brick color. Brick green color, yeah, right. No, honestly, I get it. That green color, I understand. It's like such a limited thing. It's like vampires in base game, I think, pretty much, is what I want to say. It's real tricky. Oh my God, are you gonna be weird? It is gonna be weird. Okay. So what I've done with this like little balcony situation is like, I guess we've broken up the space a little bit. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like an accessible balcony, but it could be like an additional part of your roofing, I suppose, is like another good way to look at it. So there's a couple of things that we can actually do. Yeah, the little bump out, it's really fun because a lot of those Bourbon Street style builds, I'm just gonna like drag this across. We're gonna fix our rooms in a second. They'll have like multiple balconies and whatever. Like usually 2 or 3 stories worth or whatever, depending on like how you want to do it. At least in that specific area. And they focus on a lot of wrought iron. So there's a few things that we can do here. So the front of this, you can add like exterior roof trim to this if you decided to, but I think we're going to play around with spandrels actually. I see that you have vampires already, and this one in its black one can look like those wrought iron things. Yes, you would put in what's it called? Invalid rounded intersection. Okay. Yeah, you'd put in like plants and stuff. Exactly. They're pretty much in every single like little outlet part. Okay, this is gonna get a little bit weird in a second. So it looks like it's kind of like a wrought iron look, right? So you could do this. I'm gonna see if I can get this to work. It's a little bit weird because of your rounded roof, so you might have to play with it a little bit. Oh no, it's gonna be weird. Okay, well, we're gonna pretend that that's okay. We're gonna pretend that that's just fine. Because Sims, right? Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Are you doing it on this side but not on the other one? I don't even know why it's being all weird like that. Okay. Something that you can do, and if you decide to do this, this one is medium wall. I don't think that you can do any freezes on these. Oh, you might be able to. Okay. Certain spaces in Sims get into those spaces in stock. No, for real. I definitely have had issues with this too. So one other thing that you can mess with on here as well is adding like freezes if you decided to. But I would recommend doing that on something that has like a higher wall because it does push it down and it'll make it look even smaller, even like tall walls. In this application, I might do it on like, I might just use exterior trims because they don't push your spandrels down. But there's a lot of emphasis on like wrought iron like stuff pretty much everywhere. And to draw this in and give this a friend, like I would change these down here to maybe black because the iron industry in Louisiana is like a really big thing, I guess. And they show it off through like their awesome wrought iron like stuff. So while you can have like your fun, funky windows and everything, I would put emphasis on the wrought iron because it kind of draws it in a little bit without looking too much of that like singular green color that you were kind of leaning into, which is really fun. Visible iron equals money, right? Especially the ones that are like all fun with like all the different like curliness to it. And you might do that with like the pillars as well. But it's still possible to have like your colors have like your friends and stuff too. Because I always talk about that. Also, there is something else that I wanted to try to do. Because I think what you have going for your roofs is really cute. So there's a couple things that we can do. I don't know if this base game window, you could use this one, but the one that I have my heart on right now is like the big, tall, skinny one, but I don't think it comes in that green swatch. It doesn't. You could mess with this if you really had your heart on like that green color. And the reason why I recommend switching to these ones is because your window to wall ratio was a little bit wonky with these little 2x2 pillars. You'd probably want to widen them to like 3, in my opinion, if you use the bigger window, just because there's like a little bit more space. You could do something like that on those little side ones, and then maybe even go like this here. Hey, thanks for the follow. Welcome on in. I think that still looks really good. And then to bring in that wrought iron feel that we were talking about, you could find like maybe these vampire pillars. I don't know why it's not letting me do this corner when it let me do the other one. That's really weird. I'm gonna try to delete this and then try to like, I don't know why it's not letting me click on that. And maybe I'll go like this instead. Genuinely don't know why it wasn't letting me do that before, but okay, game. But I guess moral of the story is, you had a really good thing going. You really did. Or do, rather. And then, oh, you could even like line these up. So then you can do like those extra little pillars and you could make these frame that really nicely. You're kind of seeing what I'm trying to go for. Don't be afraid of windows in this context too. But like that. And then figuring out what you want to do for like those pillars. I'm not really sure what you would want to do for those or like what for whatever accent that would, but I would recommend picking something that doesn't really interfere with what you have going on with like the rest of your build, but it would still like frame it out really nicely. Maybe something like this, because it looks a little chunkier than the ones that you have going on elsewhere. But the items are the things that we picked. See, that's kind of weird right there with those sandwiches, but we're gonna pretend that that gap isn't there. But Sims B Simon, oh my god, hi! Thanks so much for coming on by, Breezy. How you doing? But I guess where my brain is going is you can still have fun with like your green color, but don't forget to also add like the variety of like some other things that also might be really an indicator of what kind of home or like building this is. And I think those black accents are really fun because you have your green windows and those bright colors are really cute. And then you brought your dimension here on the side. So these buildings also had a ton of windows normally. So you can add like all your little pillars, however you want to. And then you can add those windows back in. Up in here, like this. Because you still have all your windows and then, but you added that dimension and like got rid of that flatness as much. I'm not even really paying attention to see if these are even. But just so you can kind of catch the drift or catch the gist of what I'm trying to do. Because immediately I think that looks so much better. Already. Like right here. The green accent. I think the green is really fun. 100%. I'm definitely on the same page as you. You also might do something a little bit differently for these. Those dormers are really cute, but sometimes one thing that you could do is if you hit Shift C, then you get more like little thingies. Sometimes these buildings would have like little rounded roof pieces too. So you could do something like that. And if you wanted to make it look a little less flat, you could also go like this too and like round that out and then copy this and then like rotate it, if that makes sense, like this. I know the roundedness just adds something that's just a little something extra in there. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make it look so square and so harsh. It kind of goes into that like the bent wrought iron thing, the roundy shape that we kind of have going on. You could also, I like what you have going on over here. You could also opt to do something like this. And then you could do like a couple of skylights versus like one big one. If you kind of catch me. So, or you could do like 2 and 2, so 4, so 2, 2, 2, and 2. Yeah, so then you would bring this all the way across here because you have the symmetry everywhere else. And then you'd recreate that whole facade on the front and the back if you wanted. And you could even do like that as like the iron, or you could even do that as wood, because sometimes those would be wood here. I did a lot of research and looking onto this as we as we did it for the build that I just did not that long ago. Like your wood, and that was really cute because the bottom would typically be brick. I'm feeling a little bit better today. Yeah, still kind of tired and like crampy, but good overall. I hope that you guys are good today though. Good to see you. Oh, and then if you have some of these packs, something else, I know the new expansion pack came out with these. Listen, when I looked at like all these pictures of these buildings, of those like Bourbon Street ones, windows everywhere. Windows. And it even comes with like a green that could work with that actually. This is from the new Businesses and Hobbies expansion. But if you felt like the roof was just a little bit too crazy, like use these actual dormers. I wouldn't do them on the sides personally, but you could do them like on the left and the right around that like little middle piece that you did here. That's something that you could do. But adding the roundedness, because you have like your little swirlies here, bringing in the brick. I still don't know how to feel about this roof piece, but you could play with that and find something that you personally like if you want. But I hope that helps a little bit. Exactly, yeah, when you're that far down south, you need all the windows and all the help for ventilation that you can get. Yep, because if you could open something that was up above, because it's hotter up above, then the whole house would get cooled, you know? I know I like the small dormers because I think you could also find some that are like vampires has a couple of good ones actually. I don't know if this one specifically, because of the weird pointy bit on it. You might be able to play around with that actually and like add some of the, that actually might not be bad, to be honest with you. Because then you could find some of those like little spires that came with the new expansion, or not the new expansion, but with that, because I think you might be able to find some things from vampires here, unless I'm misremembering, which I might be. But moral of the story, if you find something, like make sure that that gold color has like a friend somewhere. But the wrought iron is going to be more true. It does have the green. The wrought iron will be a little bit more true. But there are some, even these like university ones might be kind of cute. Aw, has it been glitchy today? That's so unfortunate. That's so annoying. But even that's cute. That brownish color, if you have university. This is a really cute build though. I really like what you have going on. It's really, really, really nice. If you decided you wanted to crank this puppy up and go like that, instead of using that trim, you could use the freezes and then go with that vampires one. Oops. I'm gonna see if I can get this to go on the inside of it, because sometimes you can't. You have to like click the correct like pixel. Give it to me now! I don't know why it's like only putting it on the one thing, but if you do the tall roofs and use the freezes, it'll make your walls feel smaller on the outside. And if you use the freezes, it'll push your spandrels down too, and you could use that to your advantage. But they're a little bit tricky, but you can totally like figure out how to slap them on there and whatever else, because that's something that's really fun for that. But yeah, so at the moral of the story, adding all those little like wrought iron details and figuring out how to do that, changing your window to wall ratio on these small dormers, breaking it up and making it feel like this is like that's the entrance, because I think it frames it really nicely. Any sort of little dormers over here would be cute. And then playing around with doing different wall patterns, so it's not just all like the same grayish tone, like that gray green, which is cute, but I feel like the red will help the green windows pop. See, because I feel like the green windows pop more because they're not trying to like compete with like that gray green sage color you have on the bottom, if that makes sense. Because I feel like the green kind of has its moment, but it's not too much, because it's the contrasting color situation that we were talking about before, or the complementary. Yeah, complementary, not contrasting. But very cute though. I love these Bourbon Street style things. I think that's so cute. And it's a lot of fun. So in all, I think that middle floor would be really fun to see if you could do like a tall wall and then add freezes and see what it does. And then that dimension with like the little dormers. Oh, and then if you, I don't know if you mess around with like debug at all. If you go under flowers, if you have tool or better build by, but like in your live edit debug and base game stuff, there are these little hanging plants, and these are so fun to mess with because like, especially in these types of buildings, literally go crazy with these because every picture that you see of like those Bourbon Street style homes or whatever are gonna have like a bajillion of these, except for the fact that they're gonna be like hanging and not like on the ground. Like I just placed them. Hold on. Let me use tool in just a second. But like these are gonna be so cute. Let me back all these up and then I'll raise these up with tool so we can kind of see what they would look like up here. And I'm gonna base it off of the spandrel part on the left side, I think. Just because that's like the freezes. You might even be able to get away with like doing them a little bit lower. Yeah, like actually a little bit lower. Oops. I love doing things like this. This is so fun. So 2.5, and I'm gonna go through and like lower them by maybe like 0.75. Yeah, okay. So you can kind of see that they're roundabout like just hanging. It really does help so much, and it really brings it like, wow, that is a Bourbon Street like building kind of thing. Yeah, imagine because they didn't really use like a lot of a lot of different materials for their buildings. So you could do, so you might even be able to get away with like those pillars, those ones from like Get Together that you had on those corners. And then if you wanted to add some dimension to like the bottom of it as well, more pillars, literally, like go like this. And then it just changes it so much without adding anything at all. Because that's been like a challenge to myself personally, is messing around with textures and different patterns and stuff like that, to kind of make it not like you're adding like all like a bunch of extra like space to it, if that makes sense. So just adding like little pillars and then it just changes it so much to the side. It just doesn't look like just like a flat wall. There's like the dimension to it. Because I'm constantly battling myself on adding like all the little like additional parts, like bumping things out, rather than just seeing what I can do to make a flat surface more interesting. And it's something like that. Or even playing around depending on like what style of build you're doing, like this with like different wallpapers and whatever, right? I download that too. Especially if you can get like your freezes to go all the way around the outside of that. But yeah, all cute places to start, I think. Very cute. Wait, the start screen is grayed out after pressing X on the top pop-ups. It's been like this weird glitch that's happening. Do you have like Tool or anything installed? Because I had some people saying that they had Tool installed, and then when they got rid of it, it like stopped doing that. But also people that haven't had Tool, it like messed with that too. So I don't know, or they don't have Tool. So I don't know. The only thing that I can think of is a Tool and Better Build by. Okay. I personally just have been hitting escape instead of X, and it's been okay for me. So try that. And it's usually on the second boot up that it's been okay for me. All right, so Beans, we're gonna do another wheel spin here. So we have Serena, Sybil, Phoebes, Jedi, and Violet that are on here today. Offline, load your game and it should be good. Okay. Hitting escape. Yeah, I think it was you that mentioned the escape thing. Is there anyone else that has a tier 2 or a tier 3 sub that would like to go on the wheel? This song bops. Jenna's in meetings until 3. She is pulled. Okay. No, thanks for catching that. I do think you're right. All right, Sybil. All right, Sybil. What do we got? Just as a reminder, I have my OBGYN appointment today that I wasn't able to move. So I do have to leave at like 2:30 to 2:45 Central today. I think you got it. Noise. That's exciting. Solar Flare Spa. All right. So Solar Flare Spa. What would you like an opinion on? Oasis Spring. So the Solar Flare lot. Click the X is always grayed out. After, if I learn more, it's not grayed out. Okay. So like click learn more is what you're saying. That's so frustrating that it's like, it forces you to do that. It's like, what in the world are you doing? This is another case of too boxy. Okay, I hate the outside. I love the inside. Destroy the inside though. Totally fine. Okay. Yeah, it's like 1.5 hours. Yeah. Man, sorry I missed streams over the weekend, you guys. I know we're like in our subathon and everything, and I always feel so bad, like if something like that happens. But oh boy, my body kicked my butt with all the weather ups and downs and like my PMS stuff. It was real bad this time. Okay. Ooh, okay. So you feel like too boxy is kind of what we're seeing, huh? I love your starting point though, and see what you have going on. This is cute, honestly. All right. So, I love the sides and I really enjoy what you have going on here. I don't really have a ton of critique on the side except for just like a couple of things. But I'm going to start with the front because I think that one is, there's less going on in the front than there is like on the sides. I know, I don't know if it's too boxy, right? There's only like a few little things that I would even begin to suggest on this. All right, see you soon, Violet. Thank you so much. It's really cute. I really like what you got going on. But what I am kind of seeing is a lot of like flat surface again. Kind of like one thing that happens to all of us at some point. So what I'm going to try to do is see how we like maybe doing like a hipped roof or something like that. And just seeing what that looks like. I don't even know like what roof trim you've got going on. I think it's probably this like more gray color. This is close. So you could do something like this if you decided, because it kind of does break that up a little bit. The tower, yeah, because like this is something that sort of like helps manage that piece in my opinion. But then the tower is one of the bigger things, because like I feel like the big windows are really fun, but I also wonder if they're too much for how tall it is. Because this is 3 stories. I wonder what this, I know, I really like the main building a lot too. I think what's going on is really good. I wonder what this would even look like if you did. No, because I even like the tower and what's happening here, honestly, still. Even if it felt like it was like a little bit too much, but then we're gonna pretend that this is just like a normal hipped roof that's going on there. Oops. Because I almost wonder if you could bring it or pull it more like Oasis Springs if you like brought these eaves down a little bit too. I know, I like the clean lines as well. I really think it is very nice. Yeah, the tower is like initially a little bit commanding. Yeah, okay. I think there's just dropping that down and then dropping your eaves even like really helped with that. But then one of the other bits of suggestion that I would do, I know, surprising, grab a pillar and then go like that. Because this has been one of the biggest things that I've been doing lately that I feel like really helps break up those spots. Even if you just do something like that in between those windows, it helps break, even like with those big windows. Like even with even in between those big windows, it makes it feel less like repetitious in that way. I don't know how to describe it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Column cult, oh god, right, literally. And you could even do this if you decided. Pillars literally fix so much. It's honestly kind of obnoxious at how much they fix. But I love what you have going on. Honestly, just lowering your eaves a little bit, in my opinion. Yeah, it just gives it something. Yeah, because like you had like all these windows over here, but then those just gave it more texture. And like even that, and you're good to go, honestly. Even like that. Because you had them here on those corners. I think just like, right, exactly, it's more depth, but like without adding things. That's been the biggest struggle for me is like, I have the need to like want to add bump outs, but sometimes you're on a small lot and you can't really do that. Like this, like you've taken up everything, which isn't a bad thing. But like not every single, I have to tell myself not every single building is going to have like 10 dormers and like 1x1 rooms that are faux pillars kind of thing. And that's tough. But I think that's really cute. And even here, I feel like personally, this is like a design preference thing, not obviously the way that it has to be. I find that, especially if you have these pillars that are like on your buildings like this, letting the ones with like those fun, funky like pieces like this kind of like be more of an accent piece rather than a focal piece, if that makes sense. So like on your corners, using these, and then over here, maybe these are more structural, so they have like the big clunky bottoms on them, but then kind of letting them have their moment, and then everything else being those like standard skinny pillars. Maybe trim on the tower. Ooh, like a good trim would be really fun. We did something here. If you could find like whatever good color that you decided, you could do that if you wanted. Somehow, some way, if you decided to do that, right, it definitely helps, right? Just like those little accents take you so far. And I almost wonder that if you could almost go like this with those windows and like bring these here. I don't know, just playing around. And you could do whatever you want with this, or you could even do like, oh my god, you've got like your little sign on the top or something up here. And like play with tool and decide like how big you actually want like your real sign to be. I don't know, just an idea. Put your sign on top, or even like over the front door, maybe even. Could be really fun. I know more signage than the new pack. I know, I was a little bit surprised that we didn't get as much signage. But yeah, little bit of pillars, trimming up the tower, and then dropping all the eaves down, I think was perfect. But that's cute. I really like the spa situation you've got going on. This is really nice. Very, very, very cute. Thank you for letting me take like a little peek at it. I always like seeing what you guys are like recently working on. Like, oh, what is that? What are you doing? Lexi, welcome back. All right, we only had a handful of people on the key entry ones, but go ahead and type help, H-A-L-P. Yes, seriously, that really, right? The tips, oh, 100%. Very good suggestions, though. It's always fun, you know, especially if we get stuck. Oh, I think I might go take a restroom break after we pull the next person. So I gotta go to the bathroom. Alrighty. All right, Flappy, what is your gallery ID? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull you up, and then check and see and go to the bathroom and pull up the one thing for you guys. What's it called? Words on stream. Flapjack simmer. All right. What build do you have? And what would you like us to look at on it? Like, what's not sitting right with you? These are so cute. Oh my God, I love them. Oops, I gotta change the name at the top. Cacti Casa Duplex. All right, so this guy, that's so cute. I like that. Trying to figure out how to make the outside interesting and platform stairs around the pool. Ooh, platform stairs around the pool is really fun. Cacti Casa. So this one's definitely in Oasis Springs. Was it where Johnny Zest lives, or where was it exactly? So we can see it in its finest, like, glory. Oh wait, no, it's in a green area. So it's got to be up here on Arid Ridge, huh? Or even on the Rio Verde. I think it's right here just because of the way the roads are. Oh no, Cat, I'm so sorry. I think exactly. I don't have my game up. Got it. Okay. I'm gonna go on a quick ad break though. Cacti Casa, the roomies. Oh, it might be actually. Oh my God, Art Deco mechanic shop in my in-build inspo. Ooh, that's an interesting combination of things. I think you're right though. I think it is totally here. It is. Okay, we're totally gonna evict the roomies because we need to have it in its font, like its glory down here. That does sound interesting. I love that. All right, Beans. I am going to go to the restroom. Gonna take a quick break, but I'm gonna put up words on stream for you guys. And I will see you in just a few. Thanks for hanging. And I will be right back. So hold tight. Be right back.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hi, I have returned level 11. All right. I know, nice and loud with the last word again. Seriously, you guys are on point with that stuff sometimes. All right, so I am back. So we did Flappy's build now. Okay, so Flappy said a work in progress inside, so feel free to tear up walls if needed. Mostly platform work. I couldn't get working and looking funky. Okay, so like you're looking for assistance on like platform work. Meetings are done. Woo! Welcome on in. Man, my cycle is brutal this time, you guys. I'm struggling. Oh, okay. I love what you have going on here. This is really fun. I think this is so cute already. I love the little entryway and like what you have going on with like the little pavers and stuff. I know, I love this. This is really, really, really cute. I love this a lot. 12 minutes of fun because meeting ended early. Yay! Cause you said you were like basically in like back-to-back meetings, right? I know, I like the contrasting doors. You've got like your orange and your blue and then your orange and then your blue over here. Like, so there's just different, they're like opposites. That's really cute. I like that the context here. This is really cute. I wonder if it might be more fun since you went so bright on the other side to do something that's like a little bit brighter on the one side. Cause then it kind of like goes with the theme you kind of have going on here. I know, it's really fun. So picking like a brighter orange I think would be really cute too. So you said mostly help with like some, I know, imagine siblings living next door. It's like you're kind of matching the energy of those. So you said you're having issues with like your platforms. No, I know, it really is giving like mid 70s duplex. That's a great way to describe this. Okay, so I love what you have going on here. It might also be kind of cute to do like some sort of like a sunroof inside of one of these. I know, it looks really cute, and you can do that by like duplicating some of these. Yeah, like some sort of like a sunroof in here. And you might be able to go like this. Cause that there, and you can go like this and like widen this out. I am leaving early today by like 2:30 to 2:45. I have an OB/GYN appointment that I wasn't able to change or anything. So I do have to leave a little bit early today, unfortunately, which makes me very sad. And then I'm not sure how you would like play around with this, but something like that would be really fun. And figuring out how to like link these in here really well. Like getting these to work. Looks awesome. Yeah, like you could do that on both sides. My brain isn't really on right now. But there would be a way for you to sort of like put this in here, and you might even be able to like go like this in like the middle of that. Like all up in here. But there would be a way to be able to like get it to be surrounded by these. And my brain isn't like working on how to properly do like a sunroof in between these. But I think basically what you could do is maybe something like this, potentially. Yeah, you'd have to like mess with it to see exactly how you'd be able to get it to fit. But there would be a way to like surround this and like fit it in here in a way that my brain isn't allowing me to do right now. Windowed roof items are there? There's not, unless it's like a flat one, but there's no like other windowed roof items. But yeah, trying to add some sort of like a cute little like windowed situation, not and then figuring out how to like roof it across here, like across the top of it. Actually, and it would be kind of cute. You might be able to do it just like this. And then, somehow. Yeah, there is a way to do it. But my brain's just not letting me do that. But sunroof would be really fun to kind of like break it up here. And then you said around the stair thing going down from the house and then to the pool deck. Platformed zones, but in the back, and then platforms are mean. I know platforms are very mean. So you said that you wanted to have this like platform around the pool, right? Is what you said, versus having it be like on a foundation. Is that kind of what I'm gathering? Because like whenever you have rooms that are met up against each other, and if it's on a foundation, all of it'll have to go on a foundation, basically. So like no matter what you do here, it'll go on a foundation. So what you could do is kind of go like this instead. And then maybe like platform this, but obviously you can't like move your pool anywhere or whatever. Your pool's kind of stuck. So I'm gonna like make this a little bit smaller, because the way that you can actually do this is you can, it would be really tricky with like your rounded edges because of the way that platforms kind of work. But the way that you work with this is you do your platforms first. Oh my God, why is it on the second floor? So you do your platforms first, and then you move your pool up next to it. But again, it's going to be really weird. It is possible, and you might be able to like landscape it this way. Especially if you go like this, you landscape it properly, you'll probably be able to like do this. I'm gonna like rotate this, and we're gonna like bounce this up one. You can like go like that. And essentially what you're gonna try to do is like that. Yeah, because you said that you wanted to have like platform or like around your pool. So that's the way that you can kind of get a platform around the pool, is like you can essentially like make the pool and then like kind of like work the platform and then like drag the pool up next to it, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to do it like in reverse, I suppose that's a good way to put it. But again, anything that's on a foundation will be on a foundation, but platforms you can like kind of work separately. So it's easier to do different levels when you are working with foundation or with platforms versus when you are with like platforms. So the same thing kind of like applies to this back here. As a lot. Thank you so much. Oh my gooses. Thank you so heckin' much for the subby. Welcome on into the Beanie Weenie Club. How you doing today? But does that make sense? So it is possible to work with foundations. I know, I really like that. Or it is possible to work with platforms and pools, but again, like if you're struggling to do something or get something to work, try changing the order in which you're trying to do it. Trying to do it like backwards. Aw, that's so nice. I really, really appreciate that. That's so sweet. So over here, were you imagining platform stairs? Because like, again, I lowered everything, like I took it off of its foundation altogether. It is possible to like mix and match, but it's like tricky. You have to use stairs to like connect them and stuff. Yeah, wide platform stairs, because you can totally do platform stairs now. So a good general rule of thumb when you're working with platforms is that one step equals one stair. Or like when you're like, you know, like when you're dragging up a foundation and how it kind of has like little clicks to it where it like snaps, that's one stair. So one click is one stair. So you can see right here, if I were to do this, it's gonna be, oop, it's like snapping to the, because it's getting all weird because there's a lot of different platforms here, but that's one stair is how that works then. It gets weird because of this, because of that, like because of the depth or whatever, but yeah. Orange and blue also can use the roof pieces, making that horizontal white trim line might be beneficial. Yeah. Wait, are you talking about here? Continue the roof pieces by moving that horizontal white trim might be beneficial. Are you talking about this right here? Because this is just like a like that, and you can remove this because I think that would look really nice too. Yeah, I agree. But I think changing that to like a brighter orange. Oh my God, something fun that you might be able to do as well, because you could do this. So there's a couple of things that I see a lot with like mid-century style things. Oh my God, you might be able to do this around those, or even picking some sort of a good gray tile that would look okay. It really does look fun, doesn't it? Red, I agree. And you could get this effect by like rotating this on this side. And rotating the tile to get it to look nice as well. Hi, Rock. Welcome on in. But that's something that you see a lot up here, and then maybe switching that to like that. Oops, and I just realized that that wasn't correct for this. But I just did that by like rotating those, if that kind of makes sense. Because you can change for like the grout lines, like lay and whatever. Much your style, the oranges and blues. Yeah. I know, isn't it fun? It's really cute. But take it or leave it on that whole thing. Like with this, but like sometimes they'll have like some sort of a like a big like sidewalk slab sort of situation. I think that we actually have something in base game that like goes with this. Or doesn't go with it, but like you'd be able to do it. Like this is the compressed earth from like the Desert Luxe kit. It's the Glamour Tough like stained concrete. Even having it like that honestly adds some like really cute charm to it. You know, like this on the left and the right, like where it's kind of like off center. That actually looks kind of funky and fun. The sidewalk tiles as an item. I know, I wish we did too. We kind of do, but like not really. Well, this world one is not good. Yeah, you're right. We have like the Willow Creek one. They have like a cracked one and then like a different one. I think it's under stone. There's one that's like the sidewalk slabs, and then there's the other one that's the cushiony concrete. That's like the more perfect one. So we sort of do, but not for Oasis Springs because it's like a very white stone looking one. But you could do that if you decided to. Because that's something that I see a lot in like mid-century builds, but honestly, or you could just leave it. And something else that may be kind of cute up here, you could do like, oh my God, what could you do? You could do like, you know, it'd be really fun. Like the lines in the grass, you could mess with that. So this back here, you kind of have like that thing that you were kind of like talking about here, if that makes sense, like your backyard area. So now that you would have this potentially like off of the off of that, you know, it'd be kind of fun if you even like moved this way. So I'm just actually gonna go ahead and like delete this for now. And I'm gonna bring this over because I think this would be really cute to kind of mess with. Because it's like a big terrace, and you could even add like a pergola. I don't know exactly like what one you would do, or you could even like build your own or something like that, or like some sort of an awning or whatever. You could add something back here. That one definitely doesn't look very mid-century. So I would suggest like making your own. But then, oh, you actually did like the sunroof here. Yeah, because you could do it like in the middle, up in like between these. That would be so fun. But I'm gonna move this whole building forward one. So then it kind of like, you have this straight line that kind of comes here. Hi, Knack. Welcome on in. Good to see you today. How's it going? And then I almost wonder if you could do like the whole like platform that kind of goes around like this. I could do this one and add that right there. And again, you can like landscape this to get this to look a little bit better in that area. if that makes sense. Like in that corner. But then you can also like make this pool a little bit longer and then maybe make like one side somehow, or maybe even make this like be the stairs, like this direction, if you kind of see what I'm saying. Or even just go like this. I was trying to go for it. Yeah. I see what you're doing. It's just a matter of like how you want to do it and like what like style or shape or whatever. But because I don't think that you can kind of get like a recessed part or something and like bring it down. But it would be working with like basements and it gets a little bit weird, especially since like you can't really lower the basement at all. You can, but like not really. It gets weird. Suppose you might be able to do something like this even. And this could be like a fun lounging area, even like bump this up against the back of that. You could even add trim there to make that look all right. So something like that is kind of cute. Even if you don't like the way that this looks, you could like stretch this here. I don't know. Ooh, you could do like the awning. You could kind of make this into like a cute little awning situation here. Like that's in front of like the pool house thing. Because even if you feel like there's too much going on with this part, like with all of your roofing and whatever, you could do this flat if you decided to, and then do like that like gravel roof and like maybe do like a platform situation on it and then go with something like this. It's gonna look a little bit weird at first, but I promise, hopefully. And then you could do like cutouts or something if you decided to. Like you could do this. Or something, I don't know, like some sort of like a little situation like that, or even like maybe make this like down one by one more and do like a little covered area. The pool building be able to get into the platform itself like that, or to be needed to add to the platform itself. So the way that you could do it, so if you look on the inside, it'll add like a little platform. So you could either choose to platform the entire room on the inside. You could add a stair if you wanted to, or you could just add like a tiny little like platform on the inside. So then your Sims could like walk in and out without having to like take a step down or anything, if that kind of makes sense. So you're just essentially kind of like bringing the same level inside, and then yeah. Things like that. I think honestly, personally, this makes it more visually interesting when you add like the platform step on the inside of it, because then it's not just like one big open room. It looks like there's some dimension to it. So you could opt to like do some sort of like a little design like this. You could do like half walls or even platform one part of it and not like the front of it. Where are my walls? We're gonna do something maybe like this. And maybe even do that. Or something, you know. Only downside to this is that like if you have those doors that are like pretty maxed out for like their level, platforms will make them smaller or make them taller up on the wall. It's like you might run into some weird clipping issues, but it's maintainable with like platforms and everything else like that. So you could do something like this, add like your gravel roof and do other little pieces up in here. So like you could do like a sunroom in here if you wanted. or like even a couple things like this. You could do like some cool like little bits, and then you could like delete that, and then you could add like your glass roof or something if you wanted. You've got options. Learning how to work with platforms and like and all of that is definitely tricky as far, especially like when you start messing with pools and doing things like that too. But there's ways to like get this to look more visually interesting than just like a flat roof or whatever. Different platform shapes and heights are gonna be cute. So you can go like this, and like you could even like unplatform this if you decided to. It'll mess with like your roofing and whatever that you just, oh my God, you just did anyway. You have to mess around with it and see exactly what you want to do, but you could do something like that. Give it a little bit of dimension if you wanted. You know, there's ways to do it, so you can play around with that. But that could be like an option for you. That way, like you had a lot going on with like all of those other roofs, and I think it's really cool to like let this one kind of stand out personally, and then do something like a little bit different over here. You could add like your pillars and whatever else. But as for like the shapes of what you kind of had working over here, or of like your pool, um and like you were trying to do like the different levels on it, I think it would be really fun to almost do like just like a flat sort of situation, and then you could like just around the pool, maybe even like scoot it over by one, because you can still have that big long shape if you wanted. um and then do like different fences. So this base game one is really, really, really cool. I'm actually kind of fond of it. And you might be able to do something cute with it too. You could do that. And then even like bring this up here. So, and like do some like little plants on the side. I think it would be really neat with how everything is kind of like lining up here to have like your pool be almost like almost kind of like a square, but with like the rounded edges. You know, I think that would be really cute to have in that kind of shape. Like that we have more room on the edges, and then you can kind of play around with this and do it that way. Oops, that's floating over there. But yeah. I feel like again, once you learn how to use platforms up against pools and how foundations interact with with platforms, and like how platforms kind of like are in a tier lower, like the platforms will always go up on a foundation. So you have to like work with that first, like figure out what you want to do with foundations. I know, I like the pool shape too. It's really cool. So does that make sense? Like, I'll put this up here, but say I wanted this part to be on a foundation, you can't do that because it brings everything else up. So that would be 2 steps technically versus 1. But the way that you could do that is by bringing like a gap in between it. The foundation platform thing is confusing. So 1 click is 1 stair, and that's how you interact with those, or how those interact with each other. So that's 3 clicks. You bring it down, that's 2 clicks, etc. And this is 1 click, but 2 clicks is 2 stairs over here. Platforms, essentially, like you're adding to the bottom floor and like adding sand to the bottom of your building, to the bottom of your wall, I guess is the way to put it. Like you're filling up the bottom of your room with sand, and then a foundation is building under it, if you see what I mean. So Use tall walls and then platform for, yeah, like I heavily prefer using platforms because I don't like my entire building to come up. I only want like a part of it, you know? Um, Maybe you see this. These are the same walls, obviously, and these come like there. You can see like where how they interact in that way. And then on a foundation is just on top of it. And then if you use tool, one stair or one platform click or one like that, it's 0.25 in tool by raising and lowering per stair, basically. But I noticed, yeah, like it was honestly just figuring out like how platforms work with the foundations. I feel like you're going to be able to fly now with that information, honestly. And then how to use platforms around pools. Cuz you can't really do it this way. So you have to do your pool first and then your platform. Like you have to draw it around it. Yeah, each stair is like a quarter tile. Yeah, that's literally it. That's a good, but it's like this way. It's vertical. That's a good way to break it down, actually. Aw, I'm so sorry, Stresha. Yeah. I really like what you have going on with this, though, with those fun roofs and like the two pieces here. This is gonna be so stinking cute. I'm obsessed with that. You could even do like some like cute little stairs. I don't know, just like regular stairs because they'll give you more headspace. Because like stairs essentially work. Yeah, I guess exactly what Jake said. Like it's double time basically. It's like it works in doubles. Like you earn like double the space with stairs versus than you do with like platforms. If you think about it. So you're able to tread like double the amount of space essentially because like a whole platform like stairs take up like a half while a platform will take up like a single like a whole one like that same amount of distance for double the cost basically. Good visual though. Do you see what I mean? It's just interesting to look at it that way. Those season stairs would be really good with like this mid-century style thing. That's fun. I like that. And you could like drag your little like box back here. Like this little thing, you could like put it back there, the planter. Heck yeah. That's adorable. I can't wait to see what you do with this. I love mid-century things. It's like one of my favorite things. I know, seriously. Yeah, those stairs are really good at mid-century. And then the flat field stone, I think from base game is also something that you should consider adding as well. Anything like long and like flowing is gonna be really good for mid-century stuff. And I can tell you why. Frank Lloyd Wright coined, he's kind of like known as the father of like mid-century. He really coined the high prairie style, which is quite literally like the rolling like flat prairies of where he grew up, which is actually where I grew up. So like really long, like flowing fields. So anything that's like really linear and long and like flat, yet there has some nuances to it. So like those roofs and stuff are gonna be things that you find, and like a lot of natural tone colors like that are things that you're gonna find in mid-century, which was inspired by High Prairie style. I know, yeah. Oh my God, doesn't it look so good in here though? It really does, Kat. I agree. So fieldstone, like really long, like rectangular but natural looking thing, so not too straight and like too perfect is really cool. This is going to be it's by 20th Century Plumb Bob. It's just a map overlay. It's CC. It's worth it because it makes your world look like it's literally like just a screenshot of the world. It's really cool. I think the person like pieces it together, but it's awesome. It's glorious. Map over. They're so good, Rachel. I like it's It looks so bad without it because I don't have Nordhavens yet. Like, ooh, what were we even doing? Because look at how beautiful that is. Anyway, we have a few people on the wheel. Are you guys ready? So we have Serena, Phoebes, Jedi, and Violet. No, I know, honestly, it really does feel like Nike. That's the best way to describe that. I know, I'm patiently waiting for Nordhaven. It's gonna look so good. Evergreen Harbors, I don't know. I hardly look at Evergreen Harbor. Everything is just, oh my God. Yep, I guess it's not working. That's weird. Oh yeah, that is broken. Oh my gooses. I don't even notice that. Because there's some apartments here. Oh yeah, it broke. Oops. Wild. All right. I know, honestly, when is that world not broken? Because that world is just perpetually broken all the time. Is Phoebes still here? The map changes? I think so. That one would be a lot trickier. What pack is that? From Eco Lifestyle. I'm so nervous. I have my OB appointment today. I don't know why. It's just a pap smear, but I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just scary. All right, so we're gonna look at Phoebes. What do you have for us today? I think you asked if you had like landscaping, right? The vet clinic, cats and dogs world. So was it is this one? It literally says fix a build. Curious how you did lay out the upstairs for the living area of this. Ideally, make a studio apartment. Okay, so any suggestions on roofing? The front looks funky. Okay. Any suggestions for the common area are also welcomed. So basically, is this supposed to be like a live-in vet clinic kind of thing? Is that what you're talking about? Is that like what the idea that you're going off of? Right, it's never fun, especially because I have uterine fibroids and like there's fertility issues that are kind of going on. And then like after we decided to wait until after our wedding to like start proceeding with any like family planning stuff. So I'm like a live-in homeless shelter of sorts. Okay, so like a live-in homeless shelter. That's true. Are there fun appointments? That's fair. Tattoo appointments. Not medical appointments, though. That's true. That's very fair. Accurate. Okay, so then, all right, so what you're thinking is like the front just doesn't feel right. Okay, so I kind of encountered a little issue like this. With, oh my God, what build? It was the one wedding venue that I just did. The empty lot or the park lot? Oh wait, yeah, is this the right one? It feels like it is based off of the way that it's like angled and stuff though. Because that one's really long. And this one's like skinny and like deep. Okay. So are you trying to go for like the very coastal feel that we're looking at or that we're thinking of right now? Oh my God, it does. Right. Because like there like is a very high chance of being complications. Goodness, hoping that there won't be. But statistics say that there will be. But I think the biggest thing is like, well, we're waiting, and obviously statistically speaking, like that the how do I want to say, it's not gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse with time, you know, statistically speaking. But we opted to wait at least another year, like now until like the wedding, because goodness, you know, hoping that there's essentially not going to be any more like I don't want complications or to like to land on the hospital like right before our wedding kind of thing, you know, and or have something really, really awful happen, you know, on like because there's just so many unknowns. So we opted to wait. But yeah. Right. So like I feel like it was the very responsible thing to do. Okay, so my suggestion is I I feel like those coastal ones, at least, you know, for the most part, coastal houses are going to be a little bit more like square, if that makes sense. Like a little bit more square. Okay, so let me back up here and kind of like go through what my brain's doing right now. So what I'm imagining, like, there'll be a little bit more square here. So I think as I'm looking at this, like, I don't mind what you have going on here. Are you like married to these dormers up top? Because I feel like what's happening, because I run into this problem a lot as well. We either need to like widen this out a little bit to account for its height, because right now it's really tall and skinny, and this is like the issue that I was personally having when we went and did that wedding venue. It was like I didn't want to go too big, but then it ended up being really tall just because the style or whatever, and then I ended up widening it out and it kind of like fixed it because it felt more balanced with how tall it is or how like high it is. Flash shell. Oh, so you didn't mess with the walls. Okay, I see, I see. But that would be a really good spot to start for us, I think, is maybe going like that. I know, I love the unique roofing too. It's so fun. So you could go like that and like widen it out. Maybe even doing like some of those white windows or whatever. If you wanted, take it or leave it, obviously. I know I really like I love it being like a little bit wider because I love what you have going on here. But then you said the front part wasn't really feeling it. It wasn't feeling it. So as I'm looking at this, so not only did we kind of like widen it out on the top, there's a few things we can do too that I think would make this even cuter. I'm looking at like the front of it and I see a lot of like flat surface. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna delete these. I'm gonna move this window so we can save her. But something that might be kind of fun for us to mess with like the front of it. I don't know if this is gonna look good, but I wondered because to add some more dimension to that front, you could do this if you decided to like bring this forward. Michael's cooking fish sticks and it's very fishy smelling. They're the Costco fish sticks and they're so crazy. They smell very, very, very fishy, but they don't taste it, I guess. I haven't had the chance to like eat them yet. I know I love the wider dormers too. So I was looking at that. I know, oh my God. Rip fish stick Brando! Too soon! Our poor baby! What are you doing? No! Why you gotta bring that up? I'm just kidding. That's vile and hilarious. I love that. That's terrible. Again, please do it again. Okay, I hate this. That looks like garbage. What am I doing? Now it just looks worse. Okay, so maybe we need to think of this different. But what I am going to do. No, honestly, no, Brando, it was hilarious. Please do it again. You could do the double dormers. Okay, let me try something else here. So I was looking at like the front of it and I saw a lot of like those same dormers that were like sticking the one direction. So this is what we could do to kind of like remedy that. I am going to bring this in right here. On that front part and like do this like hipped roof. You could even do half hipped so you don't have to like stretch it so far in. Bring that down. Actually, I am gonna do half hipped because it like cuts through your wall on the side. So I'm gonna do a half hipped roof here. Because I like the eaves on houses like this. And then so there's a few things that you could do. I'm almost thinking about adding like an octagonal thing up here, but I don't really think that that is gonna be the right way to go about it. Just because of this that's going on down here. And then so I'm gonna use like a circular roof down here. I'm gonna try to like balance this out, maybe like bring it here. And then if you want this to feel connected to that, you can use like this roof piece Um, but then like drop it down to like the level. It's like this is a gabled roof. And then pull your eave forward. You don't want like to pull the wall forward, but just that eave. And then you can get it to connect really well this way. But I think then what you could do is maybe even like bring this down a little bit more so you can see your windows a little bit better. But I feel like if you want to bring, so in my experience, like the coastal windows have more panes in them typically. From what I saw, like they're gonna have like a lot of like those heavily like 6-pane, 8-pane glass windows. So you could use either base game or you could use something like base game would be really cute. And I think you also have obviously you have cats and dogs, and then you could do what is it called? What's the other thing that I'm thinking of? Get together also would be a really good option for that. Like if especially if you're trying to lean that like, okay, you got it. Okay. It's like that really coastal feel for things. That's typically what I noticed in a lot of those is they're gonna have like all those little panes and it'll help like just naturally pull you that direction. You could do these little guys. This is like a horizontal window. So you have something that kind of just feels a little bit more like drawn together, or like it just feels not so high, especially where this roof is kind of like getting in your way a little bit. You could then also use like maybe these shuttered ones. These ones get a little bit tricky here because your wall to window ratio kind of gets a little bit weird there, because like the shutters are sort of eating things up. But I would recommend maybe switching over to like some paned windows because it'll help like naturally just pull you that direction. Or you could do this actually. Let's see how this is gonna look up here because this might look really, really, really cute. Actually, yeah, I feel like that does feel a little bit more balanced because then I'm gonna do my favorite thing in the whole world. Ooh, another one of my favorite things to do too is do a lot of times these houses will have like, I see you have like your flat field stone situation, and then they'll have like shingles on the top. So honestly, cats and dogs in base game, they have like that clapboard crush, I think is what it is. This like wider one will go really well with a lot of the colors on those two together, I found as I was building along. So a lot of times they'll have the shuttered, like the shingly looking ones on the top, and just kind of like cut it half and half like that. That's another cute thing that you can do that visually kind of changes it. I would honestly maybe widen that out and maybe even let those dormers have their moment on the just the front side of the house. Maybe potentially. Um yeah, that's cute. I like the way that looks. Hi Icon. Good to see you. Welcome on in. And then this here, cuz like you could go like this and even like bring those together, can like iron those out. And then you could do, oh my gosh, what is it? Just like a different, either like maybe the lighter one or something like that on the front of it. And then, or even like something that's in the same color, but then just change the texture or something. Like on the front to like frame out your windows really cute if you decided to do something like that on the front. So I think moral of the story, like widening this and then getting your dormers to kind of, the curviness is really cute, but I also, at least in my brain, the box that my brain tends to put it in is where it isn't like, they don't slope that way typically. So then I look to the side of the house over here. Something that might be kind of cute to do because a lot of those style of houses have a lot of different things kind of going on with like the roof pieces and the way that we can simplify this and like kind of make like a, how do I want to say it? Like make like an accessible point. So you had your two roof pieces that were, because you can still have like that same energy, like that height of that roof, while adding character to like the sides, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I then took these and I just duplicated that because then you're gonna have like the same pitch and stuff. And then I brought in the eaves a little bit, but then I'm gonna put your little roof pieces back here on those edges. And then I'm gonna go like this and bring this eave in. Oh no, it gets a little bit weird sometimes, but you can kind of play with it. I'm gonna bring those eaves out because I had them trimmed in from the top part. And a lot of those coastal homes, they aren't like perfectly triangular. They're almost like a barn shape, like that. From what I've noticed, at least in my own observations. So you could kind of go like that. You could even do like the little scallops are up here if you wanted to, or you could just straight up go like that up here. Like that. So then you also have like another little spot with like those dormers. And this is actually a pretty large like upstairs area then, if you think of it that way. Like that. It's actually pretty big. Leave this and then this. A gambrel roof, is that what it's called? I don't even know what it's called. I'm just like, ooh, I can make that. And then you like, oh, it's so fun to say, gambrel. It's not gabled, it's a gambrel. Background has the same roof. Oh, does it really? Yeah, no, literally, right there. See? That's exactly it. That's what I'm talking about. Gambrel. Oh, I had no idea. Sometimes you might even see it like this. I haven't really ever done this one before, and I don't know how they do it. But I think it's quite literally this. I think it's just a hipped roof, and then it comes this way, and then you can kind of like trim it to get it to look right on the edges, which I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know how they do it, but yeah. There's a way to get these two to look good together and to like work. And I don't know how that is. I think it quite literally might be like this or something, but, or even, yeah, like some sort of so it's like the gable without eaves. A half gable without eaves. So it's like this one. No, this is half gable, right? So you have to go like that. I've never actually done this before. Yeah, like that. Because that's something that's also super popular. Like this, and you could like lower that if you decided to do that. Welcome back from adulting, Tony. Good to see ya. That's something that's really popular. Eaves too by overlapping roofs. Nice. Roofing is such a fun puzzle, honestly. So like adding that extra room and kind of like makeshifting your own roof. I widened this out, but honestly, what you have is really cute though. I am such a big fan of that. You're going in the right direction. But like instead of those curvy pieces, then you have like your weird little like almost octagonal sort of situation going on. When moms could cut. No, that's the good way to do it. No, it literally feels like that too, doesn't it? So you think like the top of this would be like a little studio. Oh my God, that's cute. I love the way this looks. So where is it that you said you wanted the thing? Hi, Sierra, good to see ya. Where was it that you said that you wanted the studio? Was it upstairs or downstairs? So I see this is almost like the business. Oh, it's a shelter. It's a homeless shelter. I see it. I remember now. This is cute as heck. Okay, so there's like a communal kitchen and this and that and like all your bunks. Got your bathrooms. I know it's very, very cozy. I like what you did with that little area. So then upstairs is the upstairs living area, but now they added this extra area. I think I have an idea. Right. But ooh, and then if you wanted to sort of like frame this out a little bit better, like over the door, because this is like one of my favorite things to do. And I know that's not always things that people want to do all the time. Because like there's different styles and stuff. You could add like just a little roof piece here if you wanted. Take it or leave it on there, so like it frames it and then it gets away from like all of the flat space that we were kind of looking at. I think it almost looks like a converted barn kind of situation in the fun way, like in a fun way. Right? It makes me feel so nostalgic too. Oh, another suggestion that I have. You could either do it over here, but I think over on this side it might be a little bit easier. You could do like a chimney over on this side, because I feel like then you can do like, I don't know, whatever piece that you decide to do. You could size this down a little bit, whatever it is, so it's like taller than what you have going on here. You could add like a chimney, and I think it would give you like a little bit more height and like interest on the side of your roof, so it wouldn't just be like, oh, there's your walls and your roof. Like it just adds that visual like height and interest. Inverted roof pieces, oh, that would be really interesting. Dutch colonials that typically have the barn-shaped roofs, I love that they're so cute. Yeah, they are so cute. I agree. And then this almost created like a natural covered porch area back here too. And that's always really nice, because it just kind of like covered that for you, no pun intended, because I did drag that up like over quite a bit. I hope that gave you a direction. I really like what you have going on with all of this. You might even be able to make this like a taller wall up on the top floor as well, because you have like a short wall, but you could do tall walls upstairs, and I don't think that that looks bad, actually. You might be able to do like, oh, you have this, or even like deleting these on the outside and just doing like the shingles on the inside or something, or doing, I don't know, you could mix and match, but framing out your windows could be something to consider, and then messing around with like whatever you have up here. And then of course, don't be afraid to use like your exterior trims and stuff too, because that could be really cute. And if you're running into this problem here because you're wondering why it won't go all the way across, is because technically there's no room here. It's literally because there's a room here in the middle, but you got to add like that little flat square situation like this all the way to make the game think that there's a room there. And then if you don't want it to go around the side, you just hold shift and go for it. But it didn't go on that side because I didn't add it there, but you could do that too. But very cute. Love that. I really like this roof, actually. Those ones are really fun to do, where you just kind of like piece it together and widen out the dormers so they don't feel like your wall to window ratio is just strange. Heck yeah! I hope that gave a good pointer at least. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God, it's already time for me to go. I feel so bad. I have my OB appointment today, guys, but I do have to call it because I do have to go. That snuck up so quick. I actually would like to do more tomorrow. I do have my hair appointment tomorrow because I scheduled these things months in advance, and I didn't think about the fact that we usually do a subathon, but then I don't have anything else for like the rest of the month, so then we're good. But all my appointments were literally like boom, 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 boom. My vet clinic next to it, nice. That's awesome. It's really fun. That one took me a hot second to do. You should look at the way that I also did the Domus Familiaris one. I think it might be similar to what you're trying to do too. The Domus Familiaris one was really fun to make. I want to, since we're shorter on time today, I want to do Fix a Build as well tomorrow. We have a few more people on, there was like 3 people on the wheel yet. And then we also had some of you guys in chat that wanted some more stuff too. Just too much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm nervous about it, but it'll be okay. It'll be all good. Ooh, I want to go say hi to Momo. They are playing Minecraft. They're in their Minecraft era like so much right now. I never get to. Thank you so much, you guys. Going on tomorrow. I asked that per time we have one person, but I do these once a month or once per person, just so we can get through enough people. If that makes sense. I know, Nico, that's crazy. I can't believe it either. But all right, Beans, make sure to drop a follow or drop a sub on my YouTube channel and all that stuff. But I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to go raid Momo. I will see you tomorrow and around on Discord, of course. I've got some back end things I'm going to be working on tonight as well. So take care of yourself. If you have a sub, make sure to copy and paste the Beanie Weenies incoming. Otherwise, the hand hearts will do. Just make sure to tell Momo that I sent you. As I always say, tomorrow's a beautiful day, especially with you in it. Here is a boop for the road, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.